in Ann Arbor. College football is coming up.
Some big names are gone. But for Lloyd Carr, it's about reloading, not rebuilding. John Navarre takes over the controls of the offense behind a new offensive line. Will the Wolverines miss a beat, or will Hail to the Victors ring true again?
Starting on July 15th in Chicago and ending Claremont.
Welcome to Big Ten football on ESPN Plus, presented by Advance Auto Parts. It is a gorgeous September afternoon in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and the Miami, Ohio Redhawks have come to Ann Arbor to take on the 10th-ranked Michigan Wolverines. Hi, everybody. Wayne Larrabee along with Randy Wright. Jim Barber will join us on the sidelines. Great to have you with us this afternoon. Well, here in Ann Arbor, a lot of questions about the offense. Matter of fact, Michigan lost its Heisman hopeful quarterback Drew Henson. But it isn't ironic that John Navarre, who started last September, is starting again this year.
Well, he's a big kid, 6'6", and has a rocket for an arm. But this year, the situation's a little different. Last year, he stepped in for Drew Henson. He was a temporary replacement. Henson was going to carry the load. This year, he's the guy. The expectations are much higher. And with that, Wayne, the pressure also goes up.
Well, you know, I'll tell you something. This Miami team in here is not intimidated. They nearly upset Ohio State in Columbus last September. Now, they'll try to run the football. They've got a couple of fine running backs. Steve Little was to start here today, but he is injured, and he'll play some, but he's got a sore knee. The guy who's working him out right there will get the start, Luke Clemens. They'll spread the field. They'll try to run the football. But what they have to really sell is a big offensive line.
Well, Wayne, I'm not sure it makes any difference who it is running the ball. With this offensive line, they're experienced. 4 of those 5 started last year, and they're also very big, averaging height 6'5" and weight over 300 pounds.
So they are experienced, and they will take the battle to the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan's offense has 7 new starters, so it is the defense that will have to step to the fore early this season.
Now for Michigan, the defense. That's defensive end number 92, Dan Rummershed.
And by Advanced Auto Parts, the best part is our people. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Jim Barber on a beautiful afternoon in Ann Arbor. The Michigan defense, as I mentioned going to the last break, Randy, would have to carry the 4, at least in the early season, one would figure, until this offense gets its feet under them. This was a defense that was gashed by Michigan standards a year ago, but it's a defense that is a year older. Does that make them a year better?
Well, that's a question we're going to try and find an answer on. I know Lloyd Carr is anxious to get that answer. They played last year at times very well. They struggled at other times, and most of the time when they struggled, it was against that spread offense. That's the new wave in the Big Ten, and they're going to see it today against Miami. They'll spread the ball out, but I think they do have a real strength at their cornerback position, and when you have good corners, you can do anything.
All right, Jim Barber's down on the field. Let's go to him for more on the Michigan defense. Jim?
Guys, a very good theme today to talk about is the 2001 Michigan defense. Last year, this defense struggled big time in a lot of big games on the road, cost them a chance to go to the Rose Bowl. But this year, this team is coming together. Had some great games in spots last year, has had a solid camp, couple of camps, in fact, spring camp and training camp prior to this football season. The linebackers are huge, and as a result, expect the Michigan defense to be better in this year, 2001.
More experience this year, and that's going to help us for the most part. And I think that's what we were lacking last year, is just the experience overall. We were real young last year, and it showed in a lot of places at different times. And I think this year there's going to be a lot more experience on the field, and that's going to help us out a lot.
Wolverines before another huge crowd at Michigan Stadium, about ready to take the football field against Miami, Ohio, and these two guys are set to go to war. It's M against M, Miami of Ohio and Michigan, coming up next.
Wolverines. 122nd edition of the Michigan football program, kicking off the 75th year here at Michigan Stadium. And I mentioned it's a picture postcard day, and that it is. Low humidity, or relatively low humidity, temperature about 80 degrees, light winds, and it is sunny. A glorious day in Ann Arbor. And there is the Miami head coach Terry Hepner in his third season to the Red Hawk helm after spending 13 years as an assistant in Oxford. He succeeded Randy Walker, who's now at Northwestern. And he's got a team that lost to Ohio State about a year ago this time. We saw them in Columbus. Fell 26-17, and they gave a good account of themselves that day. Jim Barber standing by with Michigan head coach Lloyd Carr. Jim?
Thank you, Wayne. He begins his 7th season as the head coach of the Wolverines. Defense, solid offense. A question mark besides trying to win the game today. What do you expect from your offense?
Well, I hope that we'll play well together, Jim. I think that's the thing we're going to have to do at some point here, and I hope it is today.
I know you got a game to get to, so we appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you, Jim. Good to be here.
All right, let's go back to Wayne and Randy.
All right, thank you, Jim. Miami won the toss, elected to defer its decision to the second half. Michigan will receive to start the ball game. At Michigan Stadium, the Wolverines have not lost to a Mid-America Conference school, but I'll tell you what, these MAC schools over the last 10 years, Randy, have really, and I think the scholarship, and Lloyd Carr talked about it, the scholarship limits on the big schools have allowed a lot of good athletes to slip into the conferences like the MAC, and they have very good programs now.
Well, not only has it allowed that, Wayne, it's really forced them to go there because of the limited scholarships that the Big Ten and the Big 12 and all the other conferences have to abide by. So you get a lot of very good talent that gets a chance to play early, and they've got that experience as they grow through their college years. And now you see these juniors and seniors that have been playing for 2 and 3 years.
Charles Drake dropping back deep. The principal deep man, along with Todd Howard. Lloyd Carr has been alternating his return people. They've been trying to find the right combination throughout the fall camp. There's Todd Howard. Well-decorated cornerback. Andy Brumberg, Luke Grozo Award candidate, has the football on the tee. And we're just about set to get the college football season underway. Good to have you with us. A short kick taken by one of the upbacks. Shante Orr gets a chance to run the football, a defensive end. And that's got to be a highlight for him out across the 31-yard line. Robillard and Mike Smith made the tackle. There's Shante Orr. A little bonus for him there. John Navarre getting the start at quarterback for the Michigan Wolverines. The sophomore from Cudahy, Wisconsin. Started in place of the injured Drew Henson a year ago. You know the story about Henson. He went to the New York Yankees organization. He's now playing, ironically, in Columbus, Ohio. Michigan quarterback playing in Columbus, Ohio.
You really got to love baseball if you're going to go play and live in Columbus if you're from Michigan.
First down for the Wolverines at the 31. Askew getting the start of the tailback spot, not getting a whole lot there. Maybe a pickup of 1. Take a look at the skill people for the Michigan Wolverines, and they will change up a lot on personnel. Askew started the fall camp at the fullback spot. Phil Brackens was a tight end. Now they've switched things around a little bit due to injuries. Bellamy's very good on the outside. Seymour had a nice year last year. Marquise Walker can make plays as well. That's an offensive line that has 4 new starters in it. Jonathan Goodwin, the only returning letterman. The only returning starter, I should say. To the outside, Askew. Stiff arms his way by Adams, but Adams ever feisty on the corner. Fought off the stiff arm and brings down big B.J. Askew short of the first down. Gain of about 7. Rod Clark helped out. Let's take a look at the Red Hawk defense. Petrovic is a stalwart on the end. Terry stops the run on the interior. Robillard, Jones, Clayton, good linebackers. And they got some talent. Milt Bowen, the best athlete on this defense, on the corner. Third down. Askew going wide. Got just enough for the first down, or so it appears, across the 41-yard line. Phil Smith made the stop.
Wayne Askew got that all on his own. Miami doing a nice job of pursuit. Question marks coming into this game for Michigan offensively. Their line, Miami's getting early penetration. That time it looked like they had Askew wrapped up in the backfield. Nice move, though, and puts his shoulders down, picks up that first down.
B.J. Askew, 6'3" and 224, a junior out of Cincinnati. John Navarre looks it over. 6'6" and 242. Good size of the quarterback spot. On first down, Askew tried to cut it back. Phil Smith made the initial hit. Ryan Terry was also there. Gain of a yard or two. I think what Lloyd Carr and Michigan want to do is basically get themselves on track on the ground first, Randy, before opening things up a little bit here.
Well, I think that's what they need to get some answers to, is with that offensive line. They get themselves some good field position. They build a little confidence, and they want to do it, as you said, on the ground first. But so far, Miami's doing a nice job of shutting down those running lanes.
Second down for Michigan. Quick toss. Here's Walker. Gino DiGiandomenico, a defensive tackle, able to recover and make the play. Gain of about 5 yards. Third down coming up for Michigan.
See Marquise Walker there. He is one of the players Michigan would like to get the ball to at least 5 or 6 times. They think he's capable of getting some home runs. If he can touch the ball that many times, 1 or 2 of those are going to turn into some big plays. So getting him involved early here is important.
Walker's at the top of your screen. Bellamy pulled in tight on the bottom. Navarre to throw on third down. And short of a first down, a beautiful tackle made on the play by Michael Adams, preventing the first down. Calvin Bell, the receiver.
Nice job by Michael Adams. One-on-one, isolated, and does a nice job of keeping the receiver in front of him and then making the sure tackle. Good job that time by Adams, coming up, knowing the down and distance, and there's the sure tackle, drag him down because there's nobody behind him.
Aiden Epstein on and punt formation for the Wolverines. A low snap, has plenty of time. Gets off an awkward kick. Tillits waves it off, and it takes a Michigan hop down to the 10-yard line. Eddie Tillits didn't want any part of that knuckleball coming down. A 41-yard punt. Wasn't the prettiest punt, but the result was good.
When you see a couple things with that Michigan offensive possession there, not a lot of deep drops, trying to get rid of that ball quickly and not put Navarre or that offensive line under early pressure.
Well, now Miami on the flip side of things offensively has experience on their line. 4 of their 5 starters are returners this year. But the quarterback is not. He's brand new. Ben Roethlisberger, redshirt freshman out of Findlay, Ohio. A drop back passer. Not real quick, but sees the field well, and they like his decision-making process. They start in the shotgun. That's Ryan Hawk, a quarterback in motion to the left. He'll sub as a wide receiver as well here today. And Hawk makes a lunging grab. Shows pretty good hands. Hawk, a sophomore out of Centerville, Ohio, is an option quarterback in high school. Miami goes with a no-huddle offense off a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. Second and 7. Roethlisberger in motion. Now Hawk taking the snap and the option. Luke Clemens cuts it back into the clear. Got a first down and more. Clemens out across the 45.
Well, we're seeing some razzle-dazzle early here from Terry Hepner. He's got both quarterbacks in his lineup. One is more of an option quarterback. That's Hawk. Nicely done by Hawk, getting that ball out to Clemens. It catches Michigan a little bit off guard. Michigan had trouble last year, Wayne, with any offense that spread the field and spread their team, and that's what Miami's doing here early.
33-yard gash there. And now the Red Hawks on the drive at the Miami 47. First down. Roethlisberger has time. Intercepted. Back the other way for the Wolverines of the interception. Carl Diggs, the linebacker, and Michigan sets up shop in Red Hawk territory inside the 40-yard line on an 8-yard return.
Oh, you could see Roethlisberger staring down his receiver. He's looking to his right the whole way. Right there, when you pump, you can't go back to the same guy once you pump it to it. Drew all the blue jerseys there. Carl Diggs sees that, steps right in front of it. No chance for that completion. Take a look at it again. Here you see Roethlisberger looking to his right. There's the pump right there. And then he couldn't step forward, couldn't get enough on the ball. That was going to be ugly from the get-go.
They spotted at the 41-yard line of the Red Hawks for Michigan on offense. Navarre off play action. Going deep down the middle. Walker, first and goal, Michigan. He beat Milt Bowen on the post. 39-yard pass play.
Boy, how quickly things can change. Miami has a little momentum, gets a big play of their own, then the turnover, and this is becoming a patented Michigan play. The bootleg, throwing the ball deep, and Walker just goes up and takes it away. It looked like it was going to be overthrown. Watch him go up, catch it at its highest point, and then just comes down on the 2.
Askew going wide. Bowen was there with help from Robillard, the linebacker. Milt Bowen, defensive back, and Matt Robillard, the linebacker, on the outside, leading returning tackler for the Red Hawks. Second down and goal to go coming up for Michigan.
Well, this is where you get some early answers to the questions about your offensive line. This is where short yardage goal line situations, you need to put that pressure on them. They need to be able to create those yards. They're tougher to get down by the goal line. We'll see what Michigan has right now.
Wolverines a little bit late in getting the play in, but now they're set to go. Askew, the lone setback. They got a tight end wing on the left side. That's Brackens in motion. Askew up the middle. Denied the end zone. It'll be third down coming up and goal to go from the 1. Ryan Terry was there along with the others. Mid portion of that defense, Matt Edwards. Also in on that tackle, Terrell Jones.
Take a look at the line. Come out and try and open up that hole. And Askew kind of fights for the extra yard or 2, but there's really not much there for him to see.
So it's third down and goal to go at the 1-yard line of Miami. Askew fumbled into the end zone, recovered by the Red Hawks. Oh, they're calling it a touchdown. He broke the plane to the goal line, and they ruled it a touchdown. He leaped up, crossed the plane to the goal line, and then lost the handle on the football in the end zone, and the officials came in right away and signaled touchdown.
Well, we'll get a good angle right here. He's just got to reach the ball across the goal line.
There it is.
Boy,
it was close, though.
It was real close. It was really close. Now, the ball just has to break the plane, and obviously it did in the officials' view.
The extra point is good by Hayden Epstein. So the Michigan Wolverines score first and lead 7-0 just over 9 minutes to go in the first. Terry Hebner and his Miami Redhawks down by 7 here in this first quarter. Waiting to receive this kickoff from Hayden Epstein. Milt Bowen, principal deep back. Corey Kirkpatrick is also back deep for the Redhawks. There is Epstein, senior out of Cardiff, California. This one bounds, taken on the play by Kirkpatrick. Make that Bowen on the return across the 20 out to the 25-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown a moment ago. B.J. Askew on a 1-yard plunge. Did he fumble before he broke the plane to the goal line?
Well, if you look at this view, watch as the contact is made right there, the ball starts coming out. And it's hard to see from that angle whether the plane is broken or not. But here, if you look at where the contact is made, knowing that's where the ball came out, right there, I think Michigan got a lucky break right there.
Miami down 7-0, first down to the 25 of the Redhawks. Roethlisberger in the shotgun. Clements alongside. The give, Clements trying to pick his way out to the 30-yard line on a gain of about 5 yards. Charles Drake made the stop. Let's take a look at the Redhawks offensively for you. Luke Clemens got the start at the running back spot here in place of Steve Little, who's suffering with ankle and knee injuries. Jacob Bell, Costello, Thaler, Hawk, and Harrell. Well-seasoned offensive line. seniors on the interior, 2 sophomores at the tackle spots. 2nd down and 5. Roethlisberger on his own. Angled out of bounds in front of the Michigan bench. Pickup of a couple of yards. So it'll be 3rd down coming up. Hobson got over through the linebacking core to make the stop. The Michigan Wolverines defensively, and this is really the strength of the team. Hoyer and Lazarus on the interior. Shante Orr very active, and Dan Romashek solid at defensive end. Hobson, Foote, and Brackens, the linebackers, really make it go. And then the cornerbacks, Howard and LeSueur, they feel very strong about not only their starting cornerbacks, Randy, but the depth they have behind them.
We talked about it earlier. When you have strong corners, you can man them up. That means you bring your safeties up. You can dictate whatever you want to do defensively with good corners.
3rd and 2. Clemens breaks a tackle and fights his way for the 1st down to the 37-yard line. Looked like a good patient run by Luke Clemens, Randy, a former walk-on in this Miami program.
But did a nice job, as you said, having some patience, letting things develop. But that's a slow-hitting play. They're giving the impression they're trying to run the tackle trap one way, but yet Clemens, once he gets the ball, comes back. So you have to let things develop. That time he was given the line of scrimmage, got the 1st down on his own.
Number 12 in your picture there, Ryan Hawk, coming onto the field. Again, listed as a backup quarterback. We'll see him play several positions here, including wide receiver. Right now he's at quarterback. Hawk options. Clemens fumbles and recovers. Dangerous play there. Zach Kaufman, a linebacker, was in the vicinity.
It's dangerous, Wayne, because usually when you have the option, you run it with your quarterback under center and the ball is pitched at a different angle. When you're running the option like this out of the wishbone, out of the shotgun, the pitch is coming from a different angle, and it really makes it, or can make it, difficult to catch.
Hawk continues at quarterback. 2nd down for Miami. 2nd and 14. Shovel pass. Clemens. Penalty marker down. He was ankle tackled by Dave Pearson. Penalty marker down. Holding the call against Miami. James Lapatina is the official we'll hear from.
On the offense, that penalty be declined. 3rd down.
3rd down coming up, a gain of about 3 yards. It'll leave 3rd and 11 for Miami.
One thing with this Miami offense, Wayne, Terry Hebner and Randy Walker, very good friends, coached together here before Walker went to Northwestern. They talked a lot in the offseason about the spread offense. Walker's had a lot of success with it. Terry'd like to see his team have that same kind of success.
3rd down for Ryan Hawk. Swing pass was deflected, and Shante Orr got a piece of it, deflected it short of the intended receiver, Luke Clemens, and it's 4th down for Miami.
Well, we talked earlier, Ryan Hawk, more of the option quarterback. Roethlisberger is a better thrower. They've tried to throw the ball with Hawk without the success that maybe they had earlier, at least the first couple of plays with Roethlisberger.
I'm thinking Roethlisberger may have gotten injured on a play on the near sidelines in that series earlier. Punt formation time. Wofsig on in punt formation for Miami. It's off kind of a line drive kick. Not a whole lot there for the Michigan return man. Over to make that play, Marlon Jackson. Scott Sagehorn, the long snapper, made the tackle. 7-0 Wolverines in the 1st quarter at Michigan.
My mom took her car on vacation and brought back some souvenirs. 4 new tires and brakes. Oh, and she met a new friend. Jack.
Forget. Defensive coordinator John Wofford talking it over with his defenders. They'll be back on the field here momentarily as Michigan takes over with a 1st down at the 29-yard line. On the punt return by Julius Curry a moment ago. First down for Michigan. Navarre quarterback. Benny Joffre, the tight end, the man in motion. B.J. Askew hit from behind. Gino Domenico made the stop after a gain of about a yard. Jim Barber, what do you have for us?
Guys, you mentioned John Navarre. A conservative game plan for him today, but at the same time, the coaching staff told us yesterday, please play loose and free and aggressive. They love his film study. In fact, he spends a lot of time in the offseason working on films. And Fred Jackson of Michigan said it reminds me of a guy he knew long ago by the name of Randy Wright. How about that, Wayne?
Really?
Good old Freddie. Freddie was at Wisconsin that is there.
That's a side of Randy we haven't seen. The studious side. Off the hands of the Utah receiver there. Trying to hit Chris Perry in the flat. Pursuit came from Nate Clayton.
Jim just talked about the game plan being a little conservative, but yet they wanted Navarre to play loose and relaxed and aggressive. It's kind of hard to play aggressive early when the game plan is really pretty conservative. And we've seen a couple of passes, most of them though short, just the one long one to Walker.
Navarre 3 of 4 passing here so far this afternoon. We saw him last September against Bowling Green in a very impressive start. He had some weapons around him then, didn't he? David Terrell, the A-Train, Anthony Thompson. Navarre deep drop and third down here. Ronald Bellamy for a first down to the 49-yard line. Michael Adams had the coverage, 20-yard gain.
Wayne, I'm not sure the game plan being conservative isn't for the offensive line, not for Navarre. This time, excellent protection. Navarre gets a chance to step up in the pocket, let the pattern develop, and throws the ball in the perfect spot. Bellamy does a nice job of going up, finding that ball, and making the sure-handed catch.
Michigan first down to the Wolverine 49. On a delay. Askew on the read. Nice spin move into Red Hawk territory to the 44-yard line. A gain of 7 yards. Terrell Jones and Michael Adams on the stop.
You know, Wayne, there's not a lot there for this running game of Michigan. Askew is getting this on his own. Some nice moves, some nice spins. That ball wound up not where it was designed to go. It was designed to go between the guard center gap. This time Askew has to spin it all the way out and bring it to the outside.
Askew averaging just over 3 yards a carry on 7 rushing attempts so far. Pitch Walter Cross. Robillard blew up that play initially. The linebacker piercing through the wall of Wolverine blockers. And then Matt Pusateri made the principal hit.
You talked about Robillard. He's a former safety that has moved up to the outside linebacker position because they were so weak, mostly in pass defense last year. They wanted to get somebody with a little better recognition. They moved him up, bulked him up a little bit to 220 pounds. Now he's playing outside linebacker.
And it's 3rd and 4 for Navarre and company. Good protection, nice throw. Ronald Bellamy for another first down. This one to the 31-yard line. Rod Clark made the stop, 14-yard gain.
One of the concerns that Terry Hepner had was that they would take Marquise Walker away. Navarre would have to go to Bellamy. Boy, he sure is throwing the ball right on the line. Bellamy, a nice route, just a quick slant. Catches the ball right in the pocket and then does a nice job of going north and south, not trying to make a big play out of what's designed to be a first down play.
Bellamy gets a break. Calvin Bell goes in for him at the top of the screen, and they reverse it to Bell with Navarre out in front blocking. Here goes Bell to the 10, forced out of bounds near the 6-yard line. Robillard chased him down. 25-yard gain, and Michigan begins to slowly but surely open up the offense.
Well, sometimes, Wayne, when you have a David Terrell on your offense, you focus so much on him that the element of surprise doesn't work. Here you've got a lot of different guys for Michigan that can step up. We've seen Walker, we've seen Bellamy with some catches. Now you put Calvin Bell in there, a guy you don't think to run a reverse with, and it's executed perfectly.
Michigan at the doorstep once again, leading 7-0. Late going first quarter. Benny Joffre, a tight end in motion. Navarre tripped. His lineman stepped on his foot. I'm sure that's happened to you in your career as a quarterback.
Well, we talk often about the quarterback being inexperienced or a running back being in there, and you don't often talk about how the offensive unit has to work together, and when you've got 4 new starters in there, they need to get a feel for each other at game speed. You can practice that stuff, but there's nothing like an actual game at regular game speed. So sometimes they step a little further back than they should, or their splits are a little wider. It takes them a while to get those things worked out.
Bracken's number 45 in the game at fullback. Michigan on a 2nd down near the 10-yard line. Up the middle, Chris Perry blasting through. Pusateri, the safety, made the stop. Pickup of about 5, maybe 6 yards, just inside the Red Hawk 5-yard line.
One of the better surges this Michigan offensive line has had. Little success in the passing game on this drive keeps Miami having to be honest and play both the pass and the run, and now it's leading to a little more success on the ground.
Both teams changing up a lot of personnel offensively here this afternoon. A lot of different looks. Michigan 4 of 5 on 3rd downs. They're facing 3rd down and goal to go. Just outside the 4-yard line of Miami. Askew the lone setback, and they've spread the field with 3 receivers. Quick little toss to Walker in traffic, and he's going nowhere. Well diagnosed. Pusateri made the stop. Robillard almost intercepted the pass, and it is 4th down. Hayden Epstein comes on for a field goal try.
Wayne, that's a play there that Michigan was hurried to get off the snap because the 25-second clock was running, and you need to let the defense get set when you're running a little trick screen like that. Because they were hurried, the Miami defense didn't have a chance to get set.
Epstein will try 22-yard field goal attempt. In his career, he's 9 of 12 inside of 40 yards. He's got this one through the uprights and good. A minute 37 to go in the first. Michigan leading by 10. You're watching Big Ten football from ESPN+. Michigan leading 10-0. 1-yard touchdown plunge by B.J. Askew, and then a 22-yard field goal to cap an 11-play, 67-yard drive. Hayden Epstein with his first field goal of the season.
Wayne, Terry Hepner told us that his team may not win, they may not have the talent, they may not be able to play toe-to-toe with Michigan, but it's not going to be because his team's intimidated or afraid. He felt very good about the attitude of his team, and I think so far they've done a pretty decent job.
Epstein's kick out of a line drive kick. Bowen makes the catch to the 5, straight ahead to the 10, to the 20. Bowen out to the 26-yard line. So it'll be 1st down for the Red Hawks, and we had speculated that Ryan Hawk played most of the snaps in the last series. However, we had speculated that maybe Ben Roethlisberger was shaken up on a previous play, but that was not the case, we're told, from the Miami sidelines. We expected to see both play. We expected to see Ryan Hawk play a couple of different positions, and we've seen both so far.
And we may still see that develop. And Roethlisberger, even though he's a redshirt freshman, very confident, very poised. Miami coaches don't think he's going to get rattled at all. He's going to be able to stand in there and execute. Got his feet wet a little bit early going, and we'll see if he can settle down a little bit.
It is Roethlisberger back in the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. Stands in there nicely. Airs it out deep. Pass overthrown. Intended for Corey Kirkpatrick. Coverage provided by the Michigan defense, Marcus Curry.
Well, not a play that gets you any yards if you're Miami, but everything they've been doing has been short. The little flat routes, the little dumps to the back. You need to do something to make Michigan know you're capable of going deep and you're willing to try it. So even though that wasn't successful on that play, maybe they'll loosen up their defense.
2nd and 10. Clemens cuts it back. Nice move. 1st down yardage close to the 40-yard line. Cato June was there, along with Zach Kaufman, on a 12-yard gain by Luke Clemens, a sophomore from Dayton, Ohio, who came to Miami as a walk-on originally, gained a scholarship in the offseason.
I've been impressed with his vision. Doesn't seem to have great speed, but can see things quickly, hits the hole quickly.
3 receivers set, and they run to Clemens. Shakes one defender in the backfield. That was Jake Freisinger who slowed him up, and then the Wolverines swarmed to the football. Net result, loss of 1.
You see Miami go into this no huddle, and it's not a hurry up. It's just the spread, the no huddle, make Michigan get set, see what defense they're in, then you let the quarterback call the plays.
And like you see in Big Ten country with Northwestern, they will call the play pretty much at the line, right?
Exactly. And sometimes the coaches will even call it from the sideline.
Roethlisberger, quick toss. And there is the first catch of the afternoon by Jason Branch, the junior from LaBelle, Florida. Big play receiver with good speed, gain of 9. The other night, Minnesota was trampled by Toledo. Iowa beat up on Kent State. There's a lot of optimism in Iowa this year. Illinois leading California in the early going on the West Coast. 3rd and 1 for Miami. Time winding down to this first quarter. Clemens gets by Shante Orr. Good cutback there to pick up a few more yards inside the Michigan 45 to the 42-yard line. Victor Hobson finally got him to the ground. And time winds down in this first quarter. On a gorgeous afternoon at Michigan Stadium so far, it's been a good afternoon for Michigan. They lead by 10. You're watching Big Ten football from ESPN Plus. Nothing Michigan, but Terry Hepner's Red Hawks are on the drive at the Michigan 41-yard line as we start the second quarter. Ben Roethlisberger, redshirt freshman, quarterback on first down. Clemens tripped up nicely. Boy, Carl Diggs made a couple of big plays. Had an interception in the first quarter. Made a nice undercut move there. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
One thing about these Michigan linebackers, they have 9 of them, and all of them are capable of playing. Look at the surge here. As he comes through, he just beats the block. There's nobody that comes through. Jacob Bell tries to come over and pull, but Diggs comes up there and actually just beats the blocker to the hole.
2nd down. Michigan on a blitz. Roethlisberger's got a man open, and he dropped it. Pass intended for Jason Branch. I spoke of him a few moments ago. He was wide open underneath the coverage of Marcus Curry. And that's something that plagued the Red Hawks at Ohio State a year ago.
And they're not good enough in a game against a team like Michigan, especially when you're down 10-0, to make those kind of plays. You can't drop those balls when you're that open. You get a ball right in your lap, you got to catch it.
Now it's 3rd and 11. Roethlisberger bought some time, drilled the pass. Branch cannot hang on, and he was hammered on the play by Zach Kaufman, the linebacker.
Well, you talked about Roethlisberger having some time back there. He finds the open guy, and once again the ball hits Branch in the hands, but right in some heavy traffic, and that ball was coming out even before the contact was made. Take a look at Roethlisberger, though. It's no better on this end of it as he gets twisted around. So you got both guys coming off after getting hit pretty hard.
4th down, and they're going for it. 4th and 11. Or are they?
Yeah, he may punt from this formation.
Roethlisberger can punt. The left-footed kicker gets off a nice pooch punt. And it caroms out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. They've got some multi-talented quarterbacks on this Miami team, don't they?
A lot of athletes.
We'll be back. You're watching Big Ten football from ESPN Plus. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Jim Barber. Welcome back to Michigan, where the Red Hawks are visiting this afternoon to kick off the football season. 113th football season in the storied history and tradition of Miami University football. Michigan leading 10-0. Wolverines first down from their 15-yard line. This is XQ. maybe his best run of the day, asked you for 15 yards to the 30-yard line, and they opened up some holes there on the left side of the offensive line, right side of the defense.
Best hole of the day. You talk about Miami's offense changing things up. Their defense, though, this year has been simplified. I think this Michigan offense in the first quarter had to identify it, had to recognize it. It's not changing, and now they're getting into a little bit more of a rhythm and opening up some holes.
Marquise Walker at the top of your screen. They set up a slot on the bottom. On first down, Navarre under pressure, got it away, going deep for Marquise Walker, and glove-like coverage by Milt Bowen across the 30-yard line.
Boy, it was excellent coverage, as you said. Bowen may be the best athlete on the team. Both corners, Bowen along with Michael Adams, the only two returning starters in the secondary. That time he didn't bite on anything. He wasn't fooled. He was running step for step with Walker.
Bob Petrovic was coming hard on the pass rush pressure, untouched from the near side against Navarre.
Wayne, I mentioned earlier the fact that their defense really struggled last year. So this year, their defensive coordinator, John Wolford, really simplified things, hoping to get better execution.
Rosal in motion. This is Chris Perry for short yardage to the 33 and a gain of 2 yards. For the most part, against the run, you have to be impressed with what Miami's been able to accomplish here.
I commented earlier that I didn't think they were intimidated at all. They weren't afraid, and I think one reason, Wayne, they've been good against the run so far is it's been their defensive line play. It's not been their linebackers necessarily coming up. Their line is getting good penetration, disrupting the rhythm in the backfield of Michigan.
Michigan 65 yards rushing on 15 rushing attempts. So there have been very few gashes here today. Third down. Navarre, the short drop and the slant. Walker cannot hang on. And boy, did he pay the price. I want to tell you, Matt Pusateri just buried the Michigan wide receiver. It's fourth down.
Well, you try to get that slant pass to your receiver quickly, because if your defensive backs identify it early, that's what's going to happen. Navarre does a good job of getting it out here, but he hangs him up a little bit. And David Terrell's got enough experience to know you get hung up over in the middle, you're going to pay the price.
Punt formation time for Hayden Epstein. Tillits is back deep. Epstein just did get that kick away. Tillits makes the catch near the 27. Tillits to the 36 and angled out of bounds on the near side. 40-yard punt, 9-yard return. Michigan continues on the lead, 10-0 at Michigan Stadium. You're watching Big Ten football from ESPN Plus. Career game as head coach, the start of the 75th season of Michigan Stadium. First down for the Red Hawks, who trail 10-0. Football at the Miami 36. Slant pass. Kirkpatrick on the reception. A gain of about 5 or 6 yards. Howard had it diagnosed for the Wolverines.
It's about the third or fourth time that Miami has tried to hit that little hitch. Michigan's defensive backs giving them plenty of room. This time Kirkpatrick catches the ball, though, picks up some good yards.
Second down. Clemens close to the first down, gain of a couple of more yards. It'll be third down, about 2 coming up. Jim Barber, I mentioned earlier that Ben Roethlisberger went out for a few plays, and it wasn't just a lineup change. Apparently he had some kind of an injury. Tell us about it.
Looked like a fighter in a 15-round fight, guys. Actually a laceration above the nose, but he's okay. It's going to take a lot more to keep him down in this game. In fact, just smiling on the sidelines, you got the impression that even with this hit and the problems off this run, that he wasn't going to stay on the football game, and that's been a proper assessment at this point.
Roethlisberger facing 3rd and 2, the 44 of Miami. And he's going deep for Branch. Penalty marker down. Jason Branch.
I'm not sure that's not going to be on Branch for pushing off and trying to go over LeSueur out there. Sure was a nice catch coming down with the ball.
Jeremy LeSueur had the coverage, and it looked like glove-like coverage from here.
Good coverage, but a perfect throw by Roethlisberger, and excellent protection.
Pass interference against Michigan.
Pass interference on the defense. That penalty decline, go to the play. First down.
Boy, what a great job by Roethlisberger putting that ball in a spot where only Branch could catch it. Take a look as he goes up and comes down with that ball inbounds. Great play.
Well, they talked about him as a big play receiver, similar to former Red Hawk wide receiver Trevor Gaylord, now with the San Diego Chargers.
And the replay there could show Lasser trying to push off with his right elbow, pushing Branch out of bounds. That was the reason for the flag.
So they set up shop off a 30-yard gain of the 26 of Michigan. Red Hawks on a good-looking drive. Clemens trying to dart to the outside, but first it was Bowman and then Charles Drake who put an end to that play. Virtually no gain.
You mentioned the fact Michigan playing a lot of players, especially on defense. Defensive line, they're very experienced, very deep. Same with linebacker. Jim Herman, the defensive coordinator, said, I've got 3 starters. 9 guys can play. You'll see any combination playing anywhere. I'll take this guy 3rd string, this guy 1st string, and put him in there. Maybe the corners, though, are the real strength of the team. So very sound defensively.
They actually lost a yard in the previous play from the shotgun on 2nd and 11. Roethlisberger under a blitz. And he steps up against it and slides to a stop near the 21-yard line. That's a gain of about 6 yards. Emil Cassius came straight up the middle, untouched from his linebacker's spot to flush out Roethlisberger, who showed that, hey, maybe his feet are quicker than we thought.
Well, I don't think he's super fast, but I think he's got the quickness to be able to avoid the rush, and that's really the most important thing as a quarterback. If you can make the first guy miss, you can buy yourself some time, see what's happening downfield.
3rd down. Roethlisberger calling the play at the line. Bobbles the snap. Still has life. To the end zone. Touchdown, Eddie Tillett. 21-yard touchdown pass. And Roethlisberger had to buy some time on that play.
Well, we talked about buying some time by making the first guy miss. And sometimes you bobble the snap, your defense looks in, they see that, they forget what they're supposed to do because they think the play is going to be bust. He steps up nicely. As the defense comes up, Roethlisberger shows beautiful touch, drops the ball right in Tillett's lap. Nice job by a young quarterback making a play.
Andy Brumbergs for the extra point. And it's blocked. Picked up by Brumbergs. He's still got life on this play. And it's deflected, incomplete. Penalty markers are down. Shante Orr appeared to be the man who blocked it.
I think he probably blocked it with his stomach. That was an awfully low kick.
Indeed it was. And then perhaps illegal touching on that play.
Illegal touching by the offense. That penalty refused. The extra point is no good.
But Miami charges back into it. 6 plays, 64 yards, 21-yard touchdown pass. Roethlisberger to Tillett. You're watching Big Ten football from ESPN+. The Red Hawks are right back in it. Terry Hepner, his team down 10-0 at the end of 1 quarter, put together a nice scoring drive, resulting in a 21-yard touchdown reception by Eddie Tillett from Ben Roethlisberger. And the Red Hawks are right back in the thick of things here.
They've put some things together offensively here, Wayne. They've mixed some things up. They've had some players make some plays, and I think they've got some confidence going offensively.
Howard. Cut down across the 25-yard line. Matt Robillard made the hit back of the 22. Howard didn't go down to the 26 or 27-yard line. Jim Barber?
Guys, Miami's no huddle has been no relief for Michigan's defense. And Jim Herman, the fine defensive coordinator of the Wolverines, told us yesterday that can be a problem. We're going to be on the field a lot if that no huddle is successful. And last year, 75 to 80 defensive plays meant his team was gassed in the 4th quarter, particularly because of injuries. They fell apart, lost some key games. We're going to keep an eye on the Michigan stamina here throughout the game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jim, they're going 3 deep at all those defensive positions, aren't they?
You know, I think Jim Herman has learned he doesn't want to put his team in that same position. He's playing those backups early now.
Askew nowhere to go. Smith on the outside contained the play initially and then had a lot of help from his friends. DeJohn Domenico was there along with Nathan Clayton. There is big Gino DeJohn Domenico. He was recruited by Michigan. A senior out of Livonia, Michigan, Central High School. Livonia not far from here, just a stone's throw, just a short wedge for you from the stadium.
Like you really know where it is.
I absolutely do. Right up the pike here a bit.
Well, that helps me.
I'm there to help. Navarre throws it incomplete. He had nothing going on that play and just threw it away. Chris Perry was in the vicinity. Probably a pretty smart play by Navarre. And I'll tell you what, this Miami defense seems to be gaining some momentum, Randy.
Absolutely. When you have some success on one side of the ball, often it carries over. Ryan Terry does a nice job of getting penetration. Now you see the linebackers, Terrell Jones and Matt Robillard, they smell the screen. They go to where the receiver is. And when you've got a defender in Terry putting pressure on Navarre, he's got to get rid of the ball. Nice team defense.
Navarre has missed his last 3 passes, facing a 3rd down here. Thrown to the back hip of Ronald Bellamy, and he could not bring it in. Matt Robillard on the coverage. Had Bellamy made that catch, I doubt he would have gotten enough for the 1st down.
I think you're right, and he is hobbled coming off the field right now, and this doesn't look like it's anything good for Michigan, as that ball was thrown behind him, as you said, and then the contact comes. Navarre has plenty of time and just throws it behind him, and I didn't really see where the injury came, but a better pass still doesn't lead to the 1st down.
Epstein's punt is high. Tillett's backing up on it, and he is decked immediately. Inside the 25 of the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. Marcus Curry on the hit, 50-yard punt. This is a pretty good stick right here by Marcus Curry.
Nice job by Curry timing it well so that he doesn't get there early. But a nice job by Tillett to hang on to that ball. So often you see those balls come loose, and another potentially momentum-changing play. This time he holds on to it, still gives his team pretty decent field position.
Take a look at the last drive in capsule 4. Jason Branch made a big play early on to get the Red Hawks into scoring territory. Roethlisberger with a beautiful touch pass, and Branch laid out for it nicely. And then Roethlisberger scrambling, picks up some yardage. And that would later lead to a touchdown pass. Meanwhile, Roethlisberger is decked for a sack back inside the 24 near the 22-yard line, loss of a couple of yards. Dan Romashek, the defensive end for the Michigan defense, over to make the play.
Their top defensive lineman from last year comes back with a lot of experience, only a junior though, so one of the stronger positions on that team, both defensive ends, with Chantayor, the other bookend.
They mark it as 2nd and 13. Roethlisberger in the shotgun. Slot receivers to both sides. Quick toss into the flat. Ryan Hawk, a quarterback, makes the catch, his 2nd reception of the day, and he's got about 5 yards or so, it appears. Jeremy LeSueur made the stop, leaving a 3rd down coming up.
Well, I've been impressed with Ryan Hawk's ability, as we talked earlier, for him to do so many different things. Out of the backfield, running the option, and as a receiver.
Good accuracy, a touchdown, and an interception for Roethlisberger on 3rd down. They spread the field.
You want to make sure you don't force something down here and turn the ball over. If it's not there, throw it away.
Michigan bluffing a blitz, and they back out of there. A 3-man rush. Pass off the mark. Not sure who he was trying to hit. Ryan Hawk was in the general vicinity. Further downfield, Corey Kirkpatrick. It is 4th down for the Red Hawks.
We had a little miscommunication between Roethlisberger and Kirkpatrick. Pretty good coverage by the Sir. Roethlisberger expecting Kirkpatrick to break to the outside. Kirkpatrick read his route supposed to go deep.
Walk-on redshirt freshman Michael Wofsig on in punt formation. Julius Curry back deep. Well, they put some heat on him that time. Curry from the 34. Michigan will get good field position here. Nonetheless, pretty good coverage. Matt Robillard, a linebacker down there to make the tackle after a return of 8 yards on a 39-yard punt. You're watching Big Ten football from ESPN Plus. Shaken up a few plays ago. It's like a right leg injury of some kind. They got the shoe off, and that's never a good sign. Michigan resumes offensively. Navarre under pressure, and he grounds it incomplete. He had a receiver, one of the tight ends, Benny Jopru, and he just threw it at the heels of Jopru and able to get it away before being wrapped up by Bob Petrovic, the defensive end for Miami. So it's 2nd and 10 for Michigan.
Well, it's a nice job by Navarre to recognize where his dump off is, where his receiver is, keep his presence of mind. But Petrovic comes through unblocked, isn't fooled by the play action, and again puts Navarre under pressure.
Navarre's missed his last 5 passes.
And I think all of them have had somebody in his face as he's been throwing them.
Askew picks up about 3 to the 45-yard line before running into a wall of defenders, led by Ryan Terry, the big defensive tackle at 6'2" and 315, a junior from Florissant, Missouri.
Leader of this defensive line, which I think has played very well here. And Wayne, I get the sense that this Miami team, every play, they've kind of withstood the onslaught of the big plays Michigan has tried, and every play now they're gaining a little confidence.
Michigan 50% on 3rd downs, 4 of 8. 3rd and 7 here at the Wolverine 45. Navarre juggled and caught. Reception made by Calvin Bell. Michael Adams brought him down, and it depends on the spot of the ball, but it looks like they're short by a yard.
I think they're going to be short. I think Bell had the 1st down yardage, but as he bobbles the ball right there, he loses and tries to give up a few yards as his concentration is broken, and therefore he gives up the 1st down. And again, Navarre has somebody in his face, feels the heat after he delivers the ball.
That time, big Ryan Terry. So Michigan 4th down at the 49-yard line of Miami. 4th and a yard to go. Lloyd Carr's going for it. Navarre under center. Askew didn't get it. Oh my, that is some kind of momentum twist now in favor of the Red Hawks. Matt Pusateri, the strong safety, came up to make the play, but great penetration on the line.
Penetration will destroy the timing of any offensive play. I think this is very telling right now that Michigan trying to go for it on 4th and 1, a running play against a MAC school, cannot pick up that 1st down.
Man, I'll tell you what.
That's a bad sign if you're Lord
Randy,
Carr.
coming into this game, you saw a strong, experienced offensive line from Miami, and you saw strength and size. Lloyd Carr talked about Miami. Size defensively up front would be a problem. In the trenches, they can play in this stadium against this team.
They're not only big, Wayne, they're quick, and they're playing very well.
Roethlisberger from the shotgun on 1st down. Buying some time. Shante Orr in his face. Nice adjustment. Clemens out of play at the 40-yard line of Michigan. Gain of 11 for a 1st down.
Wayne, we talk about the offensive lines and the difference. We've seen Navarre get hit play after play. Look at the time Roethlisberger has here. He lets it develop. He lets it develop. When it eventually breaks down, he's still got enough room and time to break out and find his secondary receiver. That's the difference right now is the play of that line.
I'm impressed with his feet, though. Roethlisberger, when he has to buy some extra time for his receivers.
I think he's got quick feet. He just doesn't have fast, quick speed.
This one going nowhere. The Wolverines all over that one. Victor Hobson in the backfield almost before the running back got the ball. That's Luke Clemens, who goes down for a loss of about 3 or 4.
Well, like any good defense, when a team starts to have success, you have to do things to disrupt the momentum and break the rhythm. And with Michigan, you're going to see it coming in the form of blitzes. They're going to bring their linebackers, and they're going to have to start bringing their safeties.
3 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. Shotgun formation on 2nd and long. The fake to Clemens. Roethlisberger's got a man in the flat. Cal Murray inside the 40 to the 39, where it will be a 3rd down. Gain of about 4 or 5 yards. Third down, about 8 or 9 yards coming up. Brandon Williams, Zach Kaufman collaborate on the stop.
Well, we talked about Michigan. I just spoke about it, trying to do some things to disrupt that rhythm, bring some blitzes, bring some linebackers. It's tougher to do that, though, against the spread because you leave yourself very vulnerable. This time, just a nice play of pursuit defense. Look at all the blue jerseys over there reacting to Murray.
Third down and 9. 39-yard line of Michigan. 4 receivers set, 3 to the bottom of your screen. Roethlisberger buying some time. Gets it away. Intercepted Brandon Williams. And Michigan takes over at the Wolverine 30-yard line.
Well, this is a situation where you have to learn, and it comes with experience, that you're not going to win on every play. If it's not there, you try and make something happen, but at some point you have to admit defeat and just live to fight another day. Right there, don't throw that ball up there. Take the sack, go ahead and punt it down, back Michigan way up onto their end of the field. You throw the ball right into the hand of Brandon Williams, and fortunately for Miami, there wasn't a lot of room for Williams to return that.
So the Wolverine offense back on the field. Under 4 minutes to go in this first half. Michigan by 4. Navarre, quick toss. And a nice tackle made by Milt Bowen against Calvin Bell, who is now with the injury to Ronald Bellamy. Calvin Bell has stepped to the fore as a principal receiver now in this offense.
And that's even going to allow Miami to focus more on Marquise Walker. Watch how Miami comes up, closes on this. Milt Bowen comes up, makes the first contact. He doesn't bring him down, but there's Terrell Jones, their leader from the middle linebacker position. Good pursuit.
Michigan's last 2 possessions were 3 and out. Now they're 2nd and short here. Askew spins away. B.J. Askew cutting it back. In the Red Hawk territory to the 46-yard line. Robillard and Bowen made the stop, but a rambling 15-yard gain for the junior from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Started with a missed tackle. Michael Adams coming in from his cornerback position. Misses the tackle right there. Could have been a huge negative play for Michigan. Askew, though, keeps his balance, turns it into a big positive.
Coming up in 3 minutes to go in this first half. Michigan leading by just 4, but the Wolverines putting together a drive. They're at the Red Hawk 46-yard line, 1st and 10. Walker and Bell form a slot to the top of your screen. That's Eric Rosel in motion. Navarre play action on the roll. Got a good block going deep for Walker, and they took him down. Milt Bowen was beaten on the play, and he took down the Michigan wide receiver inside the 10-yard line. And Bowen, I thought maybe he was shaken up at the play. I think he may be shaken up. Yes, indeed, he is.
I think he is. Not a bad play by Bowen. Looked like he had pretty good coverage, but give Marquise Walker a lot of credit. He kept his body between Bowen and the ball, and Bowen had nothing left to do other than to try and bring him down once he realized he was getting beat at the end.
This is going to be the first penalty accepted in the game.
Pass interference, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
This would be a huge loss if Milt Bowen cannot return to this game. He is their best athlete on defense in their shutdown corner.
Well, you can see Bowen starting to fall right there, and he drags Marquise Walker down with him, and maybe caught something, a heel or a foot or something in the gut. Maybe it's just a matter of getting the wind knocked out of him. So he looks like he's okay there walking off the field.
So Bowen leaves.
Again, Michigan needs to make something happen. They're trying to get the ball to Walker. He is their big play guy on offense. At least he's the one they would like it to be.
Ryan Sprague has the coverage on Walker at the top of your screen near the 30-yard line. He's come on in place of Bowen. They're going to Chris Perry. And again, that Red Hawk defensive line more often than not has been equal to the task of stacking up the Wolverines on the ground. Petrovic led the way that time. Terrell Jones filled in for the linebacking core. A loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
You can't run the ball with a tentative frame of mind. And I think Michigan offensively, their line is not coming out, and their backs, they've been hit a lot of times in the backfield, and they're running a little cautiously right now. You can't have success if that's how you're going to hit the hole.
Bell and Braylon Edwards at the top of your screen. That's Marquise Walker at the bottom on 2nd and long. Navarre to the air under a blitz, sets up a nice screen. Askew makes Adams miss. Askew to the 15, to the 10. Diving for the pylon, and he's out of bounds just short. Well executed play by the Wolverine offense.
Very well executed, and the timing couldn't have been better. Sometimes you just call the right play at the right time. Miami in a blitz, they come right through there. Askew leaks through. You expect him to pick up the blitz and be a blocker. When he releases as a pass receiver, there's nobody there to cover him. Turns out to be a huge play. It looked like he may have got that ball into the end zone there.
It looked like a touchdown to me. They mark it to the 2, 30-yard gain. Michigan to the doorstep, leading 10-6 late in the second quarter. Philip Bracken's in motion, and here comes Askew to the outside. Hit by Terrell Jones. Breaks a couple of tackle attempts. Reached for the end zone, but his knee was down to the 1-yard line. Askew saying, what do I got to do to score here? He broke a couple of tackles on that pickup.
Well, let's take a look now. The ball just has to break the plane, and you can't see from that whether or not his right foot was out of bounds, but the ball clearly broke the plane. And take a look at this one now.
Milt Bowen's back in there.
That one looks like his knee was down before he reached out and stretched across. So that one was a good call.
They mark it to the 1, and the officials hold up the play here at the outset.
I think they're trying to make up for the bad call on the touchdown.
I don't think so.
He didn't get in. You don't think they remember back that far?
I don't buy that.
Okay.
And what do we have here? A timeout taken on the field by Miami. So the Redhawks will talk it over with 64 seconds to go before halftime. Lloyd Carr trying to get some breathing room here just before intermission. His team leading by 4, and it's been a somewhat tense opener here at Michigan Stadium for the locals.
Even on this drive, Wayne, some of the big plays Michigan has gotten has been because of the missed tackles by the Miami defense. Not necessarily out of position, and you got to give credit to B.J. Askew and some of the Michigan players for breaking those tackles, but it's not like the offensive line has blown them off the ball. It's not like they've just been wide open and out performed. It's just been a missed tackle, and Michigan's taken advantage of it. They did have the real nice screenplay that got him down there, but a huge play and a huge stand for Miami if they could keep Michigan out of the end zone here.
Let me ask you, Randy, now as we take a look at, we talked about the scholarship limits now and how good players are going into these programs in the mid-level, the MAC conference and that type of thing. Are we seeing a difference? The difference, it seems to me, isn't so much in the lines or in the trenches anymore with these programs, be it a Marshall, be it a Miami or an Akron and the Big Ten schools. The difference may be on the flanks at the skill positions. Is that where you're seeing the biggest difference?
I think clearly as you look at the players that have developed, the big name players, the David Terrells, it is at the skill positions. And that's where your Michigans are going to get 5 or 6 of those guys a year, and your Miamis may get 1 or 2.
But Miami's going to develop offensive linemen. They're going to redshirt people. They're going to build linemen.
That's what they need to do. Their players are going to stay there 4 and 5 years also.
Navarre incomplete. Pusateri closest to the football. I'm not sure if he's trying to hit Rosal or the other tight end in on that play, Bill Seymour, in the end zone.
Wayne, I think to follow up on that point, the Michigans, the Ohio States, they're also playing a lot younger players. Now we go back and we take a look at this. Looked like Navarre tried to get rid of that ball far too early, much earlier than he had to, and the receiver there, Russell, was not even looking at that.
Michigan 4 of 9 on third downs. They are facing third down and goal to go at the 1. Quick count. Here comes Askew to the outside, driving short of the end zone. Milt Bowen made the first contact. Terrell Jones is also there. Matt Edwards in the neighborhood. Michigan faced with a 4th down decision at the 1-yard line. 4th and goal to go.
Well, I think they're going to go for it. They've already had a 4th and 1 at midfield that they failed on. And they haven't looked very impressive having the ball down here earlier on these plays.
Timeout called by Navarre and the Michigan offense with 29 seconds to go. in this first half. Michigan leading by a tenuous 4 points.
Well, sometimes you call a timeout to decide whether to go for the 3 or the 7. Other times you call a timeout deciding what play do we want to run. I'm not sure Lloyd Carr's convinced he wants to go for the touchdown right here.
I was going to ask you, what would you do in this situation if you're Michigan?
Well, I think the way things are going right now, I'd put the points on the board. I'd go up there and take the points. You're only ahead by 4. If you don't put them on the board, Miami is going to go off this field with tremendous confidence in. I'm not so sure Lloyd Carr's convinced he's going to make this.
Yeah, I'm sure Lloyd Carr feels Terry Hepner's got enough confidence. He and his group have enough pumped up confidence as it is in this first half. But, you know, the other thing I keep waiting for is Michigan just going to blast forward with a straight dive up the middle type of thing. And we haven't really seen that. And they haven't won the battle in the trenches.
No, they've tried to do that a couple of times, haven't had success. I think your best success or best chance for success on plays like this, get your quarterback to the outside, give him a run-throw option.
4th down and goal to go, and now the Red Hawks use a timeout. So the wheels turning on both sides here. Well, that's the point. You know, in the past, you would think in a situation like this, Michigan is going to run straight ahead and just blast you into the end zone. But they haven't been able to do that effectively here. The interior against their interior against the interior of the defensive front of Miami.
No, and it's not just been one guy for Miami. They've gotten penetration from Petrovic, from Ryan Terry. There have been a lot of white jerseys in that backfield, so you can't just look at one offensive lineman and say, boy, you're having a tough day. It's just not, it's not been a very dominant offensive line performance. That was a big question coming in, and you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're replacing 3 outstanding players that played for them last year that aren't here right now.
Steve Hutchison, Jeff Backus on that offensive line, among others. They're trying to replace 4 starters this year. You're right, Randy. Here we go. 4th down, goal to go at the 1 for Michigan. Double tights on the line. Navarre, play action, got a man wide open, touchdown. Benny Jeffrey. And the Wolverines take a 16-6 lead.
Nice play action, but again, Michigan goes with the throw. They don't have the confidence in that run, like you said. They tried to bring Navarre out, give him a run-throw option. Successful play, but not maybe what Michigan would have done in the past.
That's what you said. Run-throw option for the quarterback. Epstein with a point after it's good. And you've been reading Lloyd Carr's playbook, haven't you, this week?
I don't know if he has a playbook this week. I don't know if he knows what's going to work. Well, that play certainly did, and gives them maybe a little that momentum swing as we go in with only 24 seconds left here in that first half. Huge stand by Miami that really could have been monumental had they kept them out of the end zone on that 4th down.
Jim Barber's down on the sidelines getting set for halftime duty. Jim, what do you have?
Thank you, guys. We're going to take you back in history, back to 1995. You know, the pressure that Lloyd Carr faces today with a pretty good defense, kind of reminiscent of the team he first inherited back in '95 when they had to go up against a Virginia team and one of the classics. In fact, they played VA long before some of the kids even came on campus. And in this game, they scored 3 touchdowns, including one with just seconds remaining. And Lloyd Carr's team down by 3 scores in the 4th quarter. 17-0, came back to win by 1. It's a game that Carr said, you know, I hesitated on the final play because the stands were so quiet. We didn't know if it was a touchdown or not. What a way to start Michigan football, huh?
Oh, I guess. Here's the kickoff from Epstein. Milt Bowen from the 3. Bowen picking up sizable yardage here, weaving his way through traffic. Out across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Marlon Jackson brought him down. I don't think the Red Hawks are going to go away despite this latest scoring drive by the Michigan Wolverines.
No, I agree with you. I think Michigan knows they're going to be in for a battle throughout the day. And I think that the spread offense that Miami has been running has worked well. They've gained some confidence with it. And keep in mind, when Michigan struggled with that last year, it was later in the games that they gave up huge leads. It wasn't necessarily that much early, and it's because they got tired, as Jim Barber mentioned earlier. So you wonder how much what Miami's doing right now, what kind of residual effect that'll have later in the game.
15 seconds to go. 1 timeout left for the Red Hawks. I guess they're not going to down the football, are they?
Well, a good kick return like that gives you this option here.
Roethlisberger got a man wide open. Eddie Tillett's out of bounds near the Michigan 42-yard line. Eddie could have turned upfield for a few more yards, but did the wise thing and got out of bounds.
Well, you get that good kickoff return, Wayne. You get a big play like that. Now you can take 1 or 2 chances at the end zone, at least get the ball down there, or you pick up another 15 yards and maybe try for 3.
And they've got a good field goal kicker. Andy Brumberg's a Luke Rosa Award candidate. If they can get it into range. 4 receivers set, 3 to the bottom of your screen. And this will be a false start. It takes a lot of discipline to stand at the line of scrimmage that long on both sides of the ball.
Both sides, especially.
Prior to the snap. Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Let's go first down.
Especially on offense when you can't really move. The defense can move. Offensively, you're looking in at the ball. When's it going to be snapped? You're looking out at the outside. You see a blitz coming. A lot of discipline. They've done a pretty good job today.
I get nervous just standing here waiting for him to snap the ball. And I'm not playing the game.
You don't have an official looking at you.
No. I'm not going to move here. Roethlisberger going deep. Got a man out there. Kirkpatrick, and the ball just barely overthrown. Cato June and Brandon Williams, but Brandon Williams was beaten down the sidelines by Corey Kirkpatrick, the sophomore from Aurora, Indiana.
You almost thought that Williams there thought he was going to have help over top, and Cato June didn't get there in time. A little more air into that ball could have been a huge play for Miami.
3 seconds remaining. Could be the final play of the half, or should be. Again, the 4 receivers set. Michigan with a 4-man line, and they're coming with 4. Lots of time. Roethlisberger going deep down the middle. And it is deflected away, incomplete. It appeared Marcus Curry, the true freshman out of Detroit, whose brother Julius plays the strong safety position, broke that up. And the first half comes to a close. Well, the Michigan Wolverines, thanks to a late touchdown, as you get a look at the jump ball here in the end zone, will head off with some breathing room, an 11-point lead. John Navarre has had his ups and downs already in this first half of the first game of the season. Michigan's led pretty much throughout the ball game, but Miami has not wilted it. They have come back, put a touchdown on the board there to cut the gap to 4, but Michigan comes back with a late score to take a 17-6 first half lead. You're watching the Big Ten on ESPN+. Michigan Stadium on a gorgeous afternoon for football. Hi, everybody. Wayne Larrabee along with Randy Wright. Great to have you with us today. Jim Barber down at the sidelines. We'll hear from him a little bit later on. A first half, not unexpected. We thought this Miami team would hang in there with Michigan. Indeed, they have. This is a team that really took Ohio State down to the wire in Columbus last September.
I think we're seeing that this Miami team is not a fluke. We thought they'd have a strong offensive line. They've taken control when they've got the ball, and it's given their young quarterback a chance to develop. Defensively, though, I am a little surprised, Wayne, that they've been able to put so much pressure and penetration into the Michigan backfield, and that Michigan line, even though they got 17 points on the board, that Michigan line has really struggled throughout.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights to show you the grit of the young quarterback for this Miami team. Ben Roethlisberger was shaken up here on this play in the first quarter. A hard hit out of bounds, suffered what appeared to be a bruised nose. He came back a couple of series later and started to lead the Red Hawks back into the game. They're down 10-0, but he hits Jason Branch's big play wide receiver on a beautiful play. Nice touch.
Nice touch. This leads to this scramble right here with Roethlisberger. Continues to drive, and this is how it ends. A nice touchdown pass to Tillett's wide receiver.
Late in the first half of play, Michigan able to drive into position, and then on 4th and 1, they resorted to this play right here. A little play action. Navarre, nice rollout. Joffrey wide open in the end zone, and Michigan assumes its lead. And so the Michigan Wolverines, as you take a look at the first half stats, by no means rolling over this Red Hawk team, but they do have 80 yards rushing. 125 through the air.
But you look at the 2 turnovers down there. Miami turned it over twice. Both of those have led to Michigan touchdowns. Hence, that's why the 17-6 lead.
Michigan owning a 5-minute time of possession advantage in the first half of play. Just a couple of the other numbers, but Michigan only 4 of 10 on third downs. They've had to go to fourth down on a couple of occasions here in this first half.
One of them they didn't make when they turned the ball over at midfield, and then the one they did on the touchdown. So I think it's going to do 2 things in this second half. The Miami offense is coming out with confidence. Michigan's defense was struggled late in games last year. Are they going to be tired?
Yeah, but they're playing a wave. They're going 3 deep on that Michigan defense, and we'll be back to watch the second half here in Ann Arbor. Coming up after these messages. Stay with us. The second half is just ahead. Along with Randy Wright and Jim Barber, this is Wayne Larrivee back at Michigan Stadium, where the Wolverines lead 17-6. Terry Hepner's Red Hawks will have the football first to start the second half. And I'll tell you what, they hung in pretty well. A late touchdown by Michigan gave the Wolverines a double-digit lead, but it was nip and tuck throughout. The Wolverines jumped out in front 10-0, and then the Red Hawks got back into it on a touchdown drive, and it was 10-6 for a while in that second quarter. Let's get down to the sidelines and Jim Barber. Jim?
Guys, you made the point at the beginning of the broadcast. It is worth bringing up again. Miami came in here not to get some respect, but to win the football game. You saw the game last year in Ohio Stadium against the Buckeyes. They nearly won that one. The feeling at halftime, and this is still a very winnable game. Still 2 touchdowns away from getting a chance to do just that. I don't think Miami feels that it's out of this game, and in fact, if they can narrow the deficit here in the third quarter, the pressure will be back on Michigan as it was during the first half.
Thank you, Jim. You're right. Ben Roethlisberger, he impressed me. And of course, they have some, they can really change up on you. They can bring in Ryan Hawk, and he can run a little option on you, and they can really change the look.
Well, not only that, but when they bring him in, they put him really at running back, sometimes at wide receiver, so you really don't know how to defend him. The big difference in that first half was the 2 turnovers that led to the Michigan touchdowns. Now, if Miami cuts down on those turnovers, it's a different game, but are they good enough to overcome those turnovers? They certainly can't make any more in the second half.
Milt Bowen, principal deep back, to receive this kickoff from Hayden Epstein as we get set for the third quarter. Bowen waits for it, makes the catch of the 3. Bowen slipped for a moment and then was upended nicely. Boy, a beautiful tackle made by Marlon Jackson. So Miami will start short of its 20-yard line. And Ryan Hawk coming in at quarterback for the Red Hawks. And again, they are very high on both of these signal callers that they have. Redshirt freshman Ben Roethlisberger and sophomore Ryan Hawk.
Seldom, Wayne, do you see a team use 2 such diverse types of quarterbacks but have success with each of them.
4 wide receivers set in the ball game for Hawk in the shotgun. Clemens was tripped up initially. Good penetration that time once again by Carl Diggs, who's played very well. Had an interception in the first quarter. He made the play there. Gain of a yard.
Well, sometimes at the college level, you can run a play more than once. The defense won't recognize it, but eventually you need to cross it up, and Miami's been focusing on that one play a little too often.
Tough catch made there by Chauncey Henry. Marlon Jackson had the coverage short of a first down at the 22-yard line of the Red Hawks, facing third down. And again, this is very much like the offense that Randy Walker and company and Kevin Wilson run up at Northwestern. Spread the field, get into the shotgun, and make something happen. Call the play at the line. Hawk delivers and chased out of bounds. Chauncey Henry short of the first down to the 25-yard line. That'll force a punting situation.
Well, earlier we saw Miami throw the ball deep. It wasn't successful, but it backed Michigan off. On this 3-play drive right here, 2 completions, neither one of them long enough to get the first down. They're going to have to do something to stretch that defense, at least attempt a couple of deeper passes to back them off a little bit.
Julius Curry is back in single safety to receive this punt from Michael Wofsig. Wofsig replacing a 4-year starter, Kent McCullough. Wofsig emerged in the spring drills. He's also a wide receiver on the ball club. Kind of a line drive kick here, but it does take a Red Hawk hop. But how about this? Talk about a hop right into Red Hawk territory by Julius Curry. And Michigan will get excellent field position to start their first drive of the second half. Terrell Jones and Rod Clark made the stop. 12-yard return off a 36-yard punt. B.J. Askew got most of the work at tailback for Michigan in the first half of play. Earlier in camp, he was a fullback, but due to some injuries, the injury to Timmy Bracken, Askew has been asked to move to the tailback spot, and he's made some things happen. Some nice runs. And has had to earn some tough yards in that first half of play.
Well, Wayne, as you said, most of his yardage has come on his own, not with a lot of help from his offensive line.
Chris Perry is the tailback now, and Perry gets the call up the middle, and Perry not going very far. Robillard, the linebacker, who has been filling very well, made the stop in the hole.
I have been impressed with Matt Robillard. We talked earlier, he's a safety that came up to play the linebacker position, not so much for run support, but to help in their pass defense because they were so porous last year. He's put on some weight, 6'3", 220 pounds, but he's done a nice job in the run game as well.
Michigan has an excellent true freshman class. Braylon Edwards, part of it, is in the ball game at wide receiver for the Wolverines. As you get a look at Matt Robillard, I'm impressed with the speed and quickness of the linebackers for Miami. Second down. Navarre in a tight pocket. Knocked away nicely. Rod Clark tipped it away, intended it for Calvin Bell.
Nice job by Rod Clark reading that pass play. Nice coverage. Then he breaks in front of it once the ball is thrown. Played it well from the snap. And once again, Navarre not having all day to throw the ball. There was the pressure on in the pocket starting to close down a little bit. Watch this here. He sees it develop, but there comes the pocket closing down. And again, he takes another hit.
He does. Phil Smith that time deliver the blow. 3rd and 9, Michigan. Navarre again in a tight pocket. Does not have the first down. The catch made by Calvin Bell. And Robillard chased him out of bounds to the near side. Pickup of a couple of yards. It is 4th down for Michigan.
Nice play by Robillard. This is where they really wanted to put him into their defense. Nothing downfield, throws, but watch the tight coverage. Sure, it's a completion, but Robillard is right there to push him out of bounds. Don't give him the room to turn that upfield and make the first down.
Hayden Epstein on in punt formation. Eddie Tillett is the principal deep back. Tillett had a couple of returns for touchdowns against Eastern Michigan last year and was 25th nationally with a 12-yard average per punt return. Epstein took a while in getting that one away. Kind of a floater and a fair catch signal made by Tillett, and he takes the football to the 25-yard line where Miami will start its next offensive series, just a 21-yard punt. Michigan on top, early going, 3rd quarter. You're watching the Big Ten from ESPN+. The Red Hawks take over their second offensive series of the second half, and this is a crucial juncture in this game. If they can get any kind of a score out of this drive, we've got a real barn burner down the stretch, I would think. Roethlisberger on first down. Low pass, nice shoestring catch by Tillett. Gain of about 6 yards. Jeremy LeSueur at tight coverage. Let's get down to the sidelines and Jim Barber.
Thank you, Wayne. Biggest concern for Michigan in the second half, trying to get to the quarterback. Not easy to do during a no huddle, but what these guys have talked about is that when they've got him contained and got a chance to get a sack, they must complete the sack. That will prevent the long pass and sometimes results when the quarterback is able to shake loose. We'll try to keep an eye on that and see if Michigan does get the pressure that it wants to at this point.
2nd and 4. Roethlisberger, quick toss, got a first down. That's Eddie Tillett. Jeremy LeSueur wrapped him up near the 38-yard line.
Wayne, just the point Jim was talking about. If you can't get to the quarterback with your front 4, you have to bring extra guys. Here comes the blitz. Roethlisberger does a nice job. You read the blitz, you get rid of the ball where your outlet is. One-on-one coverage. Tillett makes a nice catch and gets all he can. Nice job of early recognition by Ben Roethlisberger.
First down to the 39-yard line of Miami. Roethlisberger throws it away. Shante Orr was chasing him along with Dan Rumashek. John Walford, the defensive coordinator of the Red Hawks, made that reception. Looked pretty good doing it too, didn't he?
I think he's kind of focusing now on what I need to do when we get out there, because this offense, I think, is going to move the ball, and I think they're going to score some more points. And they're doing it the right way. Don't try and get it all back with one play. Get first downs. They'll lead to touchdowns.
4 wide receivers set on 2nd and 10. Press coverage on the edge of the corners. Roethlisberger. Nice comeback move made by his receiver. Ryan Hawk, his backup quarterback.
Wayne, do you see how the center did a nice job with Roethlisberger of holding the count? He pointed to where his hot reads were. Then he let Michigan jump into their blitz defense. And then he held it so that everybody could recognize what they wanted to do. That's a big advantage to the no huddle. You've got the time to do that at the line of scrimmage.
Ryan Hawk has made 3 receptions today as a receiver. He's played some snaps behind center, too, at quarterback. 3rd down. Roethlisberger going to get it on his own into Michigan territory and absorbed a hit near the 47-yard line of the Wolverines. Julius Curry came in from the secondary.
One thing about Roethlisberger, he's used to taking some hits. He took one in the nose earlier, and this one wasn't very far away from it. This is a kid that only started for 1 year as a quarterback. There's that hit right there. Who only started for 1 year at quarterback in high school, but he set several Ohio State high school records. And when you ask why did he only play for 1 year, it's because the year before he played wide receiver. He was an all-conference wide receiver. He's used to taking those hits.
You're right. Passed for over 4,000 yards that 1 year he started at quarterback. 1st down. They screen it out. Clemens had too many people to beat there, and it was covered up by Jake Freisinger. Zach Kaufman in the vicinity as well. Looks to be a loss of about a yard.
We got to ask you a question. If Roethlisberger wasn't good enough to start, in the year he did start, he passed for 4,000 yards. Where's the quarterback that played ahead of him?
Who was that quarterback? Yeah. My goodness, at Findlay, Ohio. Roethlisberger's favorite receiver in high school is also a redshirt freshman on this Miami team, Mike Aridi, and we haven't seen him yet, but we might. He's in uniform here today. 2nd and 11 now for Roethlisberger. Quick toss, incomplete. Hawk, the intended receiver. Hawk and Tillits were in the vicinity. We're both together, and usually that's not a well-designed play. I don't think they drew it up that way.
No, I think Roethlisberger was throwing the ball to Tillits, and as you said, I think Hawk was there, thought he could make the catch, and got there. Red Hawks having a nice little drive here, mixing things up well. Now a big 3rd down, though. They need to convert this to keep this drive going, get the ball deeper into Michigan territory.
Miami 5 of 10 on 3rd downs. Again, Roethlisberger buying some time, trying to keep the play alive. Penalty markers down. He's got a man wide open down the sidelines inside the Michigan 10-yard line. Randy Stegman. But there is a flag, and it's going to go against Miami for a hold back outside the 50-yard line.
Well, it's happened so often when you get a quarterback scrambling around, your offensive linemen lose the perspective as to where the quarterback is. They react to the defensive lineman moving, and the hold occurs.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from previous spot, still down.
That wipes out a 39-yard gain.
Well, it's going to happen right in front of the Miami bench. There's the hold right there. You see the flag. The hold as the players were moving out of the field of play over towards the sideline. But a nice job still by Roethlisberger and Randy Stegman to turn something that really could have been mush into a nice play. Once again, there's the hold right in front of them.
3rd and long. 3rd and 21 for Miami. Trailing by 11 in the 3rd quarter. Roethlisberger again. This time hit and nabbed. Larry Foote make that Larry Stevens arriving on the play. And he makes the sack back near the 41-yard line. Loss of a yard or 2. 2nd sack of the day for the Michigan defense.
You know what, though? There's a little maturity that Roethlisberger, earlier in the game, first half, under pressure, forces the ball, it gets intercepted. Here, instead of trying to force something, go ahead and take the sack, punt the ball, and try and gain some field position, push Michigan back. Don't try and force something to happen. A little bit different than what happened earlier. Nice play.
Michael Wapsig in punt formation. Julius Curry back deep. Timeout taken by Michigan. I wonder if they weren't happy with their personnel, or maybe they had too many men on the field. That could have been the problem. 8:49 left to be played. Third quarter. Michigan plays on the lead, 17-6. You're watching Big Ten football from ESPN+. 51 left to go in the third quarter. Miami in punt formation. 8 plays, 4 minutes of possession. No score in the second half for Miami. Wapsig in punt formation. Michigan had only 10 men on the field prior to that timeout. That's why they took the timeout. They had enough men on the field. End over end kick. Curry lets it hit on the 25. Big hop. Makes the catch and gets nailed. Rod Clark made the hit on the play. 40-yard punt, no return. Well, Drew Henson was the starting quarterback here a year ago and was going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate for the Michigan Wolverines. And he had it all. Great size, mobility, athletic ability, great arm for football. But he also has something for baseball. And he's got $17 million of it now from the New York Yankees. He's in the Yankee system, playing at Columbus, Ohio, AAA, batting .217 with 10 homers and 36 RBIs. And the Yankees would like him to mature quickly and replace Scott Brocious at third base. He's going to have to hit a lot better than .217 on the AAA level to do that.
Well, I think he kind of went into that not really expecting to this year, and I think he was hurt earlier this year down there.
He was, yep.
And kind of got off to a slow start, and I think they kind of started some uncomfortableness here. I think there's some mixed emotions with him leaving.
There's a lot of mixed emotions here over that. You know, you bring in a quarterback of that stature, and it does affect the way you recruit, at least at that position. And, you know, when a guy leaves a little bit early like that, you know, that's kind of puts a jar to the plan, so to speak. But they do have a good quarterback here in Navarre.
And not so much with Navarre, but in the backup, in the depth at that position.
Perry getting the call, not getting a whole lot. I'll tell you something, Miami has been resilient up the middle. Michigan has done very little right up the middle. Phil Smith led the charge there. Jim Barber, what do you have?
Guys, you were talking about Drew Henson and his loss here, and talked to Stan Parrish, the offensive coordinator, and he just had a big grin on his face. He said, you know what? He really was something special. Henson's not been a subject I think Carr has enjoyed talking about during the offseason. I think they're all surprised that he had left when he did leave, and they do miss him. And by the way, I saw him in Indianapolis. He almost broke up a perfect game Tuesday night, although he's still struggling with a bat.
Third down for Michigan, about 5 yards to go. John Navarre, a laser, and it's dropped, incomplete. Pass incomplete, intended for Calvin Bell, and it's fourth down for Michigan.
Jim, we talked about the quarterbacks that Michigan has had, and Navarre is certainly one that's going to step up and take his place. Watch this bullet that just comes right into Calvin Bell. You need to make that catch, especially on third down. Those are the kind of plays that sustain the drives. Wayne, earlier we talked Navarre, not so much Henson's departure, how it affects him, does affect the depth at that position.
And they brought in Brenton from, here comes Tillits. Tillits breaks a tackle to the Michigan 40-yard line. Miami has an opportunity to climb back into it. Well, just to go into the point you were making a moment ago, you know, they had to bring in Spencer Brinton, a quarterback, and Lloyd Carr never saw the kid in person. This is a kid who played 3 years ago at San Diego State, left on a Mormon mission, went for 2 years, hasn't played football in 2 years. They looked at some tapes. Carr offered him a scholarship. The left-hander comes in here, impressed them in the fall camp, and is a close second to John Navarre. So they were able to make up for it. But if that kid doesn't surface for Michigan, then they've got Jeremy Gonzalez behind John Navarre, and very little depth beyond that. So it could have been a big factor, but fortunately for Michigan, it hasn't been. Roethlisberger, caught. Penalty marker down. Luke Clements into the end zone for a touchdown. That ball nearly intercepted and then caught by Clements. John Shaw had to go right through his hands. There is a flag down in the offensive backfield in the area of holding.
Boy, that flag came in a hurry, and it was a fortunate play. Could have been a huge play for Michigan, right through the hands. And Joe Costello, the offensive lineman, he's the one that seemed to be
on the offense. 10-yard penalty at the previous spot. Still first down.
He's the one that seemed to be the most upset by it, at least at that point in time. Take a look. See if it's going to be on the left-hand side. Boy,
on Cal Murray.
Yeah, you may be on Cal Murray, 43, trying to protect Roethlisberger before he steps up in the pocket. Hard to tell from there, but a huge break for the Wolverines as a touchdown gets called back.
Well, they've had a 39-yard pass play called back and a 40-yard touchdown called back here in this third quarter alone. So it's first down and long, back near the midfield marker. Roethlisberger. Pass thrown behind the intended receiver, Chauncey Henry. Roethlisberger starting to feel some heat. And, you know, we've mentioned a couple of holding calls here in the third quarter have been key in stymieing the Red Hawks' drives. But, Randy, a lot of times a holding penalty is forced by the defense getting an upper hand inside.
And I think Michigan is rushing the passer with a little more aggressiveness this period. And when you do that, you're going to sometimes force the offensive line to be out of position, and they're going to grab to try and make up for it.
Second down and long. Roethlisberger screens it out. Clemens turns upfield, gets by one defender, and is covered up near the 41-yard line. A gain of about 9 yards on the play. Julius Curry got over to make the stop. That leaves a third down, a little more workable. 11 yards to go for a first down.
Well, that's a good point. It wasn't the big play that they needed for the first down, but now they do put it into a 3rd and 11, which is much more manageable than a 3rd and 20.
3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Miami's third down conversion rate less than 50%. You get the sense this is an important play here for the Red Hawks.
Some positive yardage. May go for it on 4th down.
Roethlisberger wrestled down. Cato June. Gain of just a yard to the 40-yard line. You're right, Randy. We're seeing a much more intense pass rush from Michigan here in this third quarter than we saw in the first.
But they're not coming from the front 4. You're seeing other guys come through their defensive backs. Here you've got time to get rid of the ball. Cato June in the backfield, and he's quick enough with his size, only 6'1", 224, to be able to chase down Roethlisberger. Now, a couple of things that Michigan's touchdowns, both after turnovers, but Miami also has had excellent field position. Held the Wolverines and right there and can't do anything with it.
Coffin. Red Hawk bounce and is covered up in yard line. Well, John Wofford's defense has Michigan pinned deep in Wolverine territory, and they've been tough against the run here today. Michigan yet to break 100 yards in rushing here as we're about midway through the third quarter, rather. Boy, not a whole lot there for Chris Perry. The Red Hawks raining down all over that play. Terrell Jones was in there along with Ryan Terry. Nate Clayton.
Well, there's just not a lot of room for any of these backs, whether it's Askew, Cross, or Perry, to really get some momentum going and turn it into a big play. Miami had to do certain things coming in. They felt they couldn't get pushed around. They had to simplify their defense, which they did, and they had to be sure tacklers, not let the tackle turn into a missed tackle, turn into a huge play. Done a nice job of all of those things today.
2nd and 10. Incomplete, intended for Walker on the near sidelines. He had 2 defenders flash in front of him and screen the play. Michael Adams, the principal defender.
Boy, Navarre put the ball the only place that he could get it where Walker could possibly catch it. But as you said, too many white jerseys in between. There's Robillard right there, and Adams coming up just on the outside. And that ball just wasn't going to be a catchable pass.
Michigan, Randy, 4 of 12 on third downs, 0 for 7 on their last 7 third down conversion attempts.
And I think a lot of that goes to first down, where they've been trying to run the ball and they haven't had a lot of success, which puts them in a 2nd and long.
Good point. Slot at the top of your screen. Walker to the bottom. Navarre looking to the top. Now comes to Walker. And it's overthrown, incomplete near the 25-yard line. Walker bumping all the way with Michael Adams. No flags. 4th down.
3 possessions for Michigan this half. 3 times, 3 and out.
Meanwhile, Miami offensively has crippled itself with holding penalties, wiping out big plays.
And they've had good field position, haven't been able to capitalize on it. You would think after this punt they're going to have good field position again.
Eddie Tillett's back deep. Epstein to snap off the mark. Hurried kick. Tillett's a fair catch signal. Penalty marker is down. A collision on the field. And the ball covered up near the 41-yard line of Michigan. Penalty marker down.
Well, this could turn from excellent field position into really good field position.
It looked like Zia Combs collided with the punt returner, and it's going to go against Michigan.
15-yard interference will give Miami the ball close to the 20-yard line.
Well, this is the opportunity.
Violation of the 2-yard radius. Kickers. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
They're calling it a 5-yard penalty here in this case. But this is the opportunity now that Miami has been looking for. First Michigan penalty of the afternoon.
Well, after playing the first half almost penalty free, as you said, a couple of them have really crippled them. In this second half, they need to eliminate those things, get back into what worked for them. The running game they've almost abandoned here. They need to at least commit something to that to complement their passing game.
Luke Clemens started here today in place of the injured Steve Little. Little with a bad ankle and knee. Clemens, as you suggest, something on the ground. That time, maybe 2 yards. Jim Barber?
Guys, some confusion on the sidelines for the Michigan defense just moments ago when they were lining up against the no huddle and the spread of Miami. So you can't help but wonder if maybe things are starting to get to the Wolverines a bit here. This is a particularly big defensive stand they must come up with.
2nd and 8. 2 wide receiver set, single back offense. Roethlisberger under immediate pressure. For that time, Victor Hobson and Elaine Kashima met at the quarterback, back outside the 30 near the 34-yard line.
But when you play action pass, you at least count on some of the defenders being slowed down by that action. Not the case right here. Hobson comes right in, nobody there to block him, wasn't fooled at all by it, and Roethlisberger had no chance. Imperative, Wayne, that Miami at least gets a field goal out of this drive.
3rd down and 13. Roethlisberger steps up against the pressure, and the pass underthrown. Intended for Randy Stegman. Shante Orr rushed the quarterback. May have gotten a piece of this. He let that ball go. So they bring the field goal unit on.
It's going to have to be a pretty hefty kick right here. Well, it looked like it's going to be 51 yards. They need at least 3 points out of this, though. Too many times they've had good field position. They continue to do nothing with it. You wonder how long they're going to get those opportunities and how long they're going to be able to stay in the right frame of mind.
Brumberg's 49-yard field goal was his longest of his career last fall at Ohio State. This is a 51-yarder. Clean snap, kick to the uprights, and it is no good. Short and to the near or left side. So once again, Miami fails to get anything out of a prime offensive possession that began deep in Michigan territory.
Well, when you take over 2 possessions in a row inside your opponent's 40-yard line and you come away with no points, you're not going to win a lot of games that way. The way Michigan's offense is playing right now, they're not moving the ball at all, but they're not turning it over and they're not making the mistakes, and they're going to leave this game, it appears, in the hands of their defense, which right now is doing an outstanding job.
First down for Michigan from the Wolverine 34. Askew in motion. Navarre deep drop, screens it out. Askew corralled, and I mean corralled short of the original line of scrimmage. Well, Lloyd Carr knew that defense and special teams would have to carry an offense that is still evolving early in the season.
Every team must play to their own strengths. The strength of this team should be in our defense, should be in our kicking game, and hopefully an offense that gets better as the season goes along as our young players mature.
2nd and 11 for the Michigan offense. 4-man line defensively for the Redhawks. They're showing blitz and they back out of there. Quick toss. Here comes Perry. Chris Perry gets a first down across the 45-yard line. Fine run by Perry after the catch in the flat. Rod Clark angled him out. Chris Perry, a sophomore out of Advent, North Carolina.
Talked earlier about Miami not having any missed tackles. When you miss tackles, especially in the open field, those plays turn into big plays. That time, Chris Perry, first contact is made right about the line of scrimmage. Missed tackles, though, turns into a first down.
Gain of 12 at the 45 of Michigan are the Wolverines on a first down. Benny Joffrey in motion. Navarre comes up throwing. Oh, nice catch by Seymour. Beautiful one-handed grab at the 44-yard line of Miami. Pusateri and Sterling on the stop. 11-yard gain.
Nice catch by Bill Seymour here. The most improved player this spring, and maybe the deepest position tight end with the return of Sean Thompson. And it's no wonder Bill Seymour's out there with catches like that. He has really developed, and until this offense gets going, best place for your quarterback to go with some confidence, tight end.
A cluster pulled in tight at the top of your screen. Chris Perry, look out. He beats Bowen to the corner, and Bowen makes the tackle at the 32-yard line of Miami. Chris Perry is a very talented running back, leading returning rusher for the Michigan Wolverines. The Michigan people will tell you he's built a lot like Anthony Thomas. Comes out of Fork Union Military Academy in Virginia, where he scored 71 touchdowns and rushed for 4,678 yards in his 2-year career there.
You look at the difference, though, this year and last year. That ground game last year averaging 215 yards a game. So far, under 100. And that's going to go backwards after this play right here.
Pusateri with a great tackle there. Loss of 2. 2nd and 12 for Michigan. Wolverines trying to really put some distance between themselves and the Redhawks as we near the 4th quarter.
And as you see this develop, Wayne, with a 17-6 lead, a defense that's facing a semi-spread offense, you'd like to be able to ground out some long drives. You chew up that clock, give that defense a rest, keep the other team's offense off the field. Well, really, with the lack of a running game, Michigan hadn't been able to do that.
Exactly. It's forced them to go to the short screens and to use maybe the passing game a little bit, almost like a running game.
And that's not what they're used to. Their passing game is a down the field, medium to long passing game.
Down the field they go, into the end zone, knocked away. Ronald Bellamy, the intended receiver, and it appeared Rod Clark, the safety, knocked it away.
Michigan doesn't like the short passing game. They like the 15 to 20 yard in routes, out routes. They like the long play action stuff. So if they have to throw the ball short in order to have a ball control type of offense while the running game is struggling, that's going to be hard for them to do.
3rd down and about 12 here for the Wolverines at the 34-yard line of the Redhawks. Walker and Edwards to the top of your screen. Bell is pulled in tight on the bottom. Navarre hit and sack, fumbles the football, and the Redhawks, do they have it? Not yet. And finally recover near the 40-yard line. It's Miami football. Robillard, the fumble recovery. Ryan Terry, Kurt Mester were all over the quarterback.
Well, the first turnover of the day for Michigan in what may have been 4-down territory there from the 35-yard line. Navarre holds on to the ball a little bit too long. Nothing's open, nothing's open, and there comes Mester causing the fumble, and maybe that'll be a spark that can get this Miami offense going. And Robillard, who's been around the ball all day, comes up with it, gives his offense excellent field position again.
Michigan defense under pressure once again. In the early going this season, the Wolverine defense will have to win ball games for Michigan. At least it appears that way. Roethlisberger, quick toss to the flank. And a very short gain right there. Over to make the catch, Jason Branch, who had a big play in the first half. Zach Kaufman, a linebacker, on the stop.
Nice job of recognition by Ben Roethlisberger and by Jason Branch. The blitz coming from the corner. When you get vacated, put your arms up. Quarterback has to see it, get rid of the ball.
Time winding down to this third quarter. Michigan leading by 11. And are they going to get it off in time? Nope. Fourth quarter coming up. Miami had some opportunities in this third quarter of play. Many opportunities, but they could not put forth a score to really climb back into this game. They're still down by 11, but it could be a lot closer if some of these plays had worked out. Fourth quarter coming up from Michigan Stadium after these words. A kickoff for the 75th season of Michigan football at Michigan Stadium. Wayne Larrabee along with Randy Wright and Jim Barber. Great to have you with us on a beautiful late afternoon here in early September. The shadows of the press box creeping across the field as the Red Hawks face a second down and about 7 yards to go from the 43 of Miami. Ben Roethlisberger has a man open. Cal Murray into Michigan territory, out of bounds near the 40-yard line at the 39. Brandon Williams forced him out of the near side. Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Better than 107,000 on hand on this Labor Day weekend. I'm Wayne Larrabee along with Randy Wright, Jim Barber. It could not be more idyllic from a weather standpoint. Temperature at game time was about 80 degrees. Relatively low humidity. Beautiful, just about cloudless sky. First and 10 at the Michigan 39 for the Red Hawks. Miami trying to make a game of it. 5 receivers set. Roethlisberger going down the sidelines. Branch makes the catch. Hammered out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Cato June drilled him out of play, but Roethlisberger, nice touch on that sideline pattern.
Boy, you're really seeing a young quarterback grow with some confidence. He's thrown the ball in there with some momentum when he's needed to. What a beautiful touch right here. Gets the ball right over the cornerback, but before the safety can get there, Branch does a nice job holding on, knowing he's going to get hit.
24-yard gain to the Michigan 15-yard line. And with each play, you see these Red Hawks gaining more and more confidence.
Well, they've spread the offense out, so they know if we're not going to block them, we'll get rid of the ball before they can get to me. These past 2 plays worked pretty well.
3-man down line now for Michigan. And here's the handoff to the running back Luke Clements, and he's decked on the play. Diggs made the stop, the principal defender in the linebacking core. It's a gain of about 4 yards to the 13-yard line.
Boy, Clements really did a nice job of a little thing there. Right as he got the handoff and he cut back into the hole, there was contact. He bobbled that ball, but instead of trying to get every yard he can, he made sure he had possession of it. You don't want anything goofy to happen down here. Looked like a little thing, but could have been a big one.
First trip in the red zone today for Miami. Second down, about 7. And Roethlisberger needs a timeout. So each side has had to take a timeout here in the second half, and we come to a break with 14:10 left to go in the game. Michigan 17, Miami 6. You're watching the Big Ten from ESPN+. Opening minute, fourth quarter. Miami on the drive, trailing by 11. Second and 7 from the Michigan 13. 3 receivers set. Roethlisberger in the shotgun. Luke Clements alongside. Roethlisberger lofting the right side of the end zone. Intercepted by Jeremy Lesor. And once again, the Red Hawks have been thwarted in this second half.
Well, Roethlisberger has thrown some passes that were poor decisions, poor throws that have resulted in interceptions. I don't think this was one of them. Jason Branch supposed to run the fade route to the outside, cuts to the inside, and the ball's already in the air. So not really quarterback's fault.
3 turnovers in the ball game for Miami. Watch this one right here. That's just a bad throw there by Roethlisberger. And then this one right here kind of put it up for grabs in that case. But this is the one you just fumble here by Michigan. And then the last turnover we've had in this game was this one right here. And I agree with you, Randy. The receiver's got to make that play. Now back live, Navarre over the middle, got Bill Seymour, the tight end, close to the first down across the 30-yard line. Rod Clark made the stop.
Well, the receiver sometimes can't always get to a ball, but when you're supposed to run to the outside and you cut to the inside, the defensive back's looking in at the quarterback. The fade pass, it goes to one spot. It goes to the outside. You leave yourself room to adjust and catch the ball. And what happened was the defender sees it, the receiver sets the quarterback up, and it's an interception. It's the receiver's fault.
Chris Perry barreling off the right side for a gain of about 4 yards. Turnovers played a key role for Miami last year. When the Red Hawks committed 2 or less turnovers per game, they went 5-0. They were 1-5 when suffering 3 or more, and there is their 3rd turnover of the day.
Well, you saw Branch right there, tried to get outside, wasn't there, came to the inside, and Roethlisberger threw the ball out there, and you just got to commit yourself to go regardless, and Branch just made a mistake.
Navarre looks to the air, over the middle, wide open. Seymour. Another first down to the Michigan 49. Pusateri made the stop. 14-yard gain.
Well, Michigan is kind of admitting here they're having trouble running the ball to move the clock and move the chains, and they've gone early here in this 4th quarter with success to the passing game with the tight end.
And that tight end has popped open a couple of times, wide open. 1st and 10. Perry got by Clayton and then was covered up by Pusateri. I'm going to ask you, you mentioned the tight end specifically on this particular series, but again, Seymour made a nice catch on the previous series. Is the tight end opening up because Miami is committing a safety to run defense?
Well, I think that they don't want to get beat deep. They have had some play action passes, which always opens up the middle because the linebackers have to step. And I think Miami's thinking run right now because Michigan's got the lead and good field position.
Navarre coming back for it, making the catch. Calvin Bell, nice adjustment inside the 40-yard line of Miami. Michael Adams made the stop on the play. Michigan driving with determination, but driving through the air primarily on this series.
I think another reason why, Wayne, is Miami has done a nice job of taking away Marquise Walker. And other than the one big catch down there, he hasn't been a factor. So when you take him away, with Bellamy being out, I think the tight end is who they're going to go to.
They're playing deep safeties. Rod Clark way back in the secondary. Now Michigan on first down. Askew needs one more block inside the 10-yard line. Pusateri recovered to make the stop. 28-yard gain.
No matter what you do offensively, if you only do one thing, you're going to have trouble. You need to have a balance. The passing game here sets up the running game, and a huge hole that time for Askew to run through. When you're committed to running the ball and that's all you do, teams are going to be able to take it away. It's the balance you need to have successful. It's what's worked so well for Michigan in the years gone by. They haven't had it today. This drive, though, a little better job.
Here's the pitch. Askew going wide. Forced to the outside. Adams makes a hit, drives him out of bounds. Check in with Jim Barber down to the sideline. Jim?
Watching the guys on the sidelines of the Miami section, guys, it seems as if they're pretty deflated. All those opportunities in the red zone that have gone awry seems to have taken a toll on this football team, and Michigan may be able to put this one away. It's interesting. Terry Hepner said during the week, we don't have to play like Supermen. We don't have to fly to win this game, but in the red zone, well, it seems like kryptonite to Miami, and that may be why they're not going to win this football game.
Michael Adams shaken up on the play, comes out for Miami. Well, you're right, Jim. I mean, it does take a toll on the entire team when you have opportunity after opportunity or unable to convert for any points at all. Askew now 81 yards rushing on 18 carries. And Navarre to the air. Hit as he pops the corner of the end zone. Bellamy, the intended receiver, covered like a glove in the corner by Ryan Sprague. Pass overthrown.
So much at the college game, Wayne. The football is a game of confidence, not just on one side of the ball, but on the other side. You see special teams make a play, and it'll pick up the defense. You'll see the defense create turnovers. It helps the offense. Well, the defense has played very well here in this second half. The offense has struggled, and I think, as Jim just said, it's starting to deflate the whole team, especially as time's getting down here now in the fourth quarter.
And Michigan has just come at them in waves of people at every position. Perry reverses. Calvin Bell, touchdown Michigan. And the Wolverines make it 23-6. Good execution.
What a nice job of setting it up. They called it at the right time. It was executed very well. They just caught Miami flowing to the ball with some success that Michigan has had running that outside play. This time they reverse it, and there aren't any white jerseys over there.
Epstein with a point after, and it's good. Little razzle-dazzle for the Wolverines. This play started innocently enough, but it ended in Calvin Bell's 12-yard touchdown run. So a break for the Michigan offense as they put together one of their best drives of the afternoon to take a 24-6 lead over this feisty bunch from Oxford, Ohio. The Miami Redhawks, and Michigan kicking away. Hayden Epstein, good strong kick here. And Corey Kirkpatrick. Little hesitation move, and the Wolverines are swarming now. Like sharks with blood in the water, huh?
Like sharks in Florida.
Well, yeah, whether blood's in the water or not. Roy Manning led the charge there. I mean, you can tell Michigan, this possibly their best or most effective scoring drive of the afternoon. 80 yards quickly, 3:17.
And certainly the best executed drive. They had some nice plays, hit the tight end over the middle, got him involved, set up the running game, had some nice holes for B.J. Askew, and then a little trickery there for the touchdown. Maybe the best drive of the day for Michigan.
No coincidence, Miami's 3 interceptions have led to the 3 Michigan touchdown drives. 21 points off turnovers for Michigan today. And now what do we have, an illegal participation stoppage here? You know, they're checking.
Prior to the snap, dead ball, legal substitution. They broke from the sideline, huddled 12 men. On the offense, 5-yard play, first down.
They're really clamping down on that now.
Yeah, I think it's good.
That's a point of emphasis this year.
I think it's good.
I agree.
I think if you're going to huddle on the sideline, which most teams do now when they come on because they don't want the other team to see, are they going 3 wideouts, 2 tight ends? What are they doing? You got to make sure that you come across the hash mark before you go out.
1st and 15 now from the Red Hawk 11. Roethlisberger going deep. Branch, and the pass overthrown. Jason Branch seemed to have some room and pass off the mark. Julius Curry in pursuit from the safety spot. Julius is the junior from Detroit. His brother Marcus, true freshman, has played well here today, both on special teams and in the defense.
I think, Wayne, if there's one thing that we really saw today is the depth that this Michigan defense has. Yes, I do think some of the players they played last year have gotten better. I do think their corners have played well, but I think you've seen a lot of players, especially at linebacker and defensive back, who've gotten some playing time.
And they came in waves of 3 at each position. Penalty marker down here. Looks like it's going to be a hold coming up on what appeared to be a broken play as Ryan Hawk got the call. Bowman and Norman Hoyer make the stop. Hoyer is an interesting story we'll try to get to here before the afternoon closes out.
Yeah, this may go against Michigan. This may be illegal hands to the face or something in that area.
Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Big play. Gives them the automatic first down and the field position. I think this Miami team, though, has shown they've got a lot to build on. They've got a good little offense here, and this quarterback will continue to improve and get better. And Luke Clements, I've been very impressed with him today.
5 receivers set. Shotgun formation. Naked gun, as we call it. Roethlisberger, the lone setback. Going over the top for Kirkpatrick, and the pass overthrown incomplete. LeSueur had glove-like coverage near the 50-yard line to the near side.
You know, this Miami offense, 3 senior interior linemen starting for them, but yet their wide receivers are young. Steve Little, who hadn't played today, is their most experienced back coming back, but Luke Clements has done a nice job. And I think this team is going to have a lot to build on going through this season.
I think they'll be a force to be reckoned with before it's all over in the MAC. Of course, Marshall's always strong, and we're going to see the Akron Zips next week. They opened with a win earlier this week, and they'll play at Ohio State next week, and they're a good team. Bowman flushing the quarterback. Roethlisberger takes it himself. And it'll be 3rd down coming up. Jeremy LeSueur escorted him to the chalk marks in rather rude fashion, but what would you expect from a defender?
Well, there's nothing worse than a defensive back playing with the lead.
Yes. Spoken like someone who's been on the other side of that equation.
Many times.
On occasion. 3rd down, about 9 yards to go. Three-man down line for Michigan. They show blitz. They're liable to back out of there. Nope, they're coming. Hobson was coming on the rush. Roethlisberger looking to make a play. Dangerous throw there, right through the hands of the intended receiver, Randy Stegman. And it's 4th down. You can tell, I think a little bit of the wind, not a little bit, I think a lot of the wind has been taken out of the sails of the Red Hawks here in the 4th quarter.
You know, you can't. You know, they tell you at the college level you have to be honest with your players. Your coaches can't lie to them. Kids can see through that. Well, you know, kids can see through what happens on the field too. They know where they're at. They know when they've given it a good shot, and they just haven't taken advantage of it. I think that's how this entire Miami team feels right now.
Michael Wofsig in punt formation. Curry chasing, and this one takes a Red Hawk bounce, and it will be down at the 25-yard line. Jim Barber has spent this lovely afternoon down to the sidelines.
With, as usual, the toughest assignment of anybody. The opportunity to talk to Karen England, the first drum major to actually lead Michigan out before this great crowd. This is quite an honor, the first female drum major to do this. And the moments that happened prior to this game, what did it mean to you, Karen?
Oh, it was just incredible. Just, you come out here, you don't just represent the band and the team, you represent all the drum majors before you. It was just incredible.
What was interesting during our stay yesterday in here was the response from all the fans and the fact that everybody recognized you quite easily as being in a very historic moment here for UM football.
Right, right. It's been in the news a lot, and, you know, I didn't hear anybody cheer. I was so focused, but after the back bend, I heard everybody, and it was just great.
And the fact that you had some tension going up to this and building up to this particular event, did you sleep at all last night?
No, I did not. Not a bit. I came here completely exhausted, and they said, oh, don't worry. When you see the stadium, the adrenaline's going to hit you, and you're going to be so excited, and that's what happened. I saw everybody, and I thought, this is great. I saw my face on the screen. It was just awesome.
And you had a wonderful smile. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Historic moment in Michigan University football. Let's go back upstairs. The University of Michigan with a very proud day today for one Karen England.
Thank you, Jim. Askew gets the call again, and now we're starting to see some holes punched through that Red Hawk defense, and he picks up a first down on a gain of about 6-7 yards. Robillard and Van Monroe made the stop. Boy, Matt Robillard had distinguished himself well today. So did Matt Pusateri, playing from the safety spot. Askew now up to 94 yards on 20 carries. And it's been an up and down day at times today for the quarterback John Navarre. He's persevered through some dry spells, but also has thrown the ball well on occasion and made some nice passes. Walter Cross, senior out of Fort Washington, Maryland, gets the call at 27 carries, 151 yards a year ago. Phil Smith makes the stop.
Boy, we haven't seen some of the holes throughout the day that we're seeing here in this fourth quarter. Take a look at that hole. The offensive line firing out. You got to think Miami's deflated. They're tired. And Michigan's offensive line is maybe for the first time starting to feel they've got a little bit of an edge, and they're starting to take advantage of it.
Navarre, meanwhile, has distributed his passes to 7 different receivers. Cross, little cut back there. Bowen made the initial hit and then got help from the linebackers, Jones and Clayton.
You know, Wayne, I've got to think Lloyd Carr's not too disappointed with the way this game came out. I don't think he really wanted to come out and get just a blowout, knowing this team goes to Washington next week. They're going to be in for a tough Big Ten schedule. I think the fact that they were tested, they had to stay in it for the whole game. They got to play some backup players in a tight game. You gain some of those things. Obviously happy with the cushion now that they've got. But I think he's going to draw some positives out of this for his team.
Gino John Domenico is down, a big defensive lineman, left tackle. Local product, as we talked earlier, from Livonia, Michigan. And hopefully it's nothing more than just maybe a cramp, I think is what it was. Looked like a, well, I hope it's not worse than that. He's a good youngster who was hobbled by injuries last year and is back for his senior season. Some scores: Toledo all over Minnesota on Thursday, and then Iowa big on Kent State. Illinois leading California by a hefty margin in the fourth quarter.
Well, Illinois is a tough one to figure out last year, weren't they? A little disappointing.
I think the close losses, Randy, coupled with injuries, when they lost a couple of wide receivers, their speed guys on the outside, that really changed everything. And I think the close losses really to this Michigan team, that loss on a Saturday night down in Champaign, really turned their season.
The way they feel they were robbed about it, too.
On third down, quarterback keeper should be enough for the first down just across the 50-yard line for John Navarre. The other thing you mentioned about Michigan kind of persevering through some adversity here today. Navarre has seen both ends of it. He's made some great throws. He's had some problems at times moving the offense here today. Hasn't had much of a running game. But you know what? You don't really see the true measure of a quarterback until you see that quarterback under adverse conditions. Absolutely. And we saw a little bit of that here today.
I don't think Michigan's problems offensively are going to have anything to do with John Navarre in the quarterback position.
I don't think so either.
I think they look right in front of him, and until that line develops, like you could say with most teams, until that line develops, they're going to struggle. And that's unfamiliar ground for Michigan.
David Underwood gets the call there. True freshman out of Madisonville, Texas. Rod Clark makes the stop, gain of about 7 yards or so.
You know, the other thing, Wayne, is they don't really have that proven go-to guy like a David Terrell.
Yeah.
They don't have that person now to really have that confidence in.
Can Walker be that guy?
It can be. And I think they want him to be. But you saw today how when a team decides to take one player away from you offensively, they can do that.
Yep.
You've got to have the complementary players there.
Second down for Michigan. Underwood, part of the great freshman class that has enrolled this fall here at the university. And Underwood getting a workout here. Kelly Baraka, a true freshman out of Portage, Michigan, will not play this season. He is practicing with the Wolverines. He is on scholarship, but a couple of off-field problems have, well, pretty much forced the hand of the coaches, and they have suspended him for the season from playing, so he'll redshirt this year. But he was probably the most talented of the backs that Michigan had recruited this year. First down, Navarre. And Walter Cross getting tripped up as he made his way through over to make the tackle of Bob Petrovic, defensive lineman.
You saw John Navarre's statistics up there, 17 for 30, 182 yards. Little different kind of passing game for Michigan. They're going to have to adapt to the shorter passing game, maybe get those backs involved that way until they have the time their offensive line will give Navarre to throw the ball downfield.
Navarre checking the plays on his wrist. Second down coming up here. I think Michigan, come late October and November, will be a much improved offense, and that will complement what is shaping up to be a sturdy defense for the Wolverines. We'll be back 5:55 to go in the game. Michigan leading 24-6. Number 73, Phil Hawk of the Miami Redhawks, top freshman in 1998, the most experienced member of the offensive line. Toward the end of a long day for him and his offensive linemen.
They've got nothing to be embarrassed about. Nope. They played a very good game.
Navarre, good look there. Throws a strike to Braylon Edwards, the true freshman out of Detroit. Milt Bowen, man beaten on the play. First down for the Michigan Wolverines at the Red Hawk 25-yard line, 13-yard gain.
Braylon Edwards, Stanley Edwards' son.
Is that
played
right?
Here. And boy, they think he's going to be outstanding. He's tall, 6'3", runs a 4.4. Got a lot of ability, and they think he will develop. Just a true freshman.
Top 50 prospect nationally coming out of high school last fall. We've got a cluster pulled in tight, and they're going the other way. Underwood for about 2 or 3 yards. Jim Barber.
Wayne Randy made a big point about next week being a tough test in Seattle against the Washington Huskies for John Navarre. Remember, it was UCLA last year, and for the freshman quarterback, a nightmare. Just 8 of 28 in passing, and more importantly, a loss of confidence. This guy was in a funk about 2 weeks after that particular setback. Didn't play well against Illinois, got yanked, and then Drew Henson took the team the rest of the way to some pretty good results. So perhaps what has happened today might carry over to next week, but next week will be the real barometer for John Navarre to see if he has in fact arrived.
I agree with you, Jim, but I think this is a much more mature quarterback this season, and he has been seasoned by experience now. Nice throw there. First down inside the 15-yard line. DeBook on the reception. Dayton DeBook.
You know,
take a look at the Michigan schedule now. Coming up at Washington on September 8th, and Western Michigan comes in here. We'll be back for that one here on ESPN+. Then it's Illinois on the 22nd, and you can bet the Fighting Illini will come in here pretty well fired up.
Well, I think the Big Ten is so up in the air this year that there are probably legitimately 6-7 teams that have a good shot at making a run, and it depends on timing and injuries. Who can stay healthy?
A convoy of blockers for Underwood, close to a first down inside the 5-yard line. Van Monroe forced him out. Well, when you take a look and you pick up many publications across the country, preseason publications, and in the Big Ten they're picking Northwestern to win it. That's something you probably haven't seen in your lifetime or mine. You know, so it's pretty much up in the air. It'll be interesting to see how Northwestern comes out of the tragedy of Rashidi Wheeler and his untimely death. But Randy Walker's got a loaded offense. There's no doubt about that. And they open at UNLV next Friday. John Robinson's club, I believe they won down at Arkansas, didn't they, the other night?
Arkansas won a close one.
They won in the final seconds. That's right, because UNLV was leading that game all the way. Matter of fact, Arkansas went the whole first half without getting a first down at home. The entire first half. Third down coming up.
That's
here
hard to do.
It is.
It's hard to get one without a penalty or something.
Exactly. I mean to tell you, that's hard to do. Go out there and do that someday. Try that, folks. Don't try it at home, though. Here we go. Third down for Michigan. About 3 yards to go on the 5-yard line. Navarre, handoff to Cross up the middle and down to the 1-yard line. First and goal. Terrell Jones made the stop, and now you start seeing Michigan, Randy, opening up some holes straight on against the Red Hawk defense.
Well, as they're playing, we talked earlier, they're playing with some confidence. I think Miami's getting worn down, and Cross hits this hole now with a little momentum. He can get his speed up, get the ball, see the hole, and he hits it a little harder, and they weren't doing that in the first quarter, first half even. We've seen it here in the fourth quarter.
Under 4 minutes to go in the fourth. 14th play of the drive now for Michigan. First and goal. Cross. Touchdown. A little icing on the cake for the Wolverines. Red Hawk partisans will tell you it was a lot closer than that.
I think they're right, too. This is the kind of play you would expect Michigan to run earlier in the game on 4th and 1 when they had it at midfield and down when they needed to score the touchdown. Couldn't do it there. Worn it down, though. Makes the score look more lopsided than Wayne, I think, the game was.
Walter Cross takes it in. We are late in the fourth quarter. Michigan debuting 31-6 over Miami. Came back, I believe it was here at Michigan this weekend. Everybody checked in, the band intact.
I think they start school on Tuesday, but they came back for the game.
Well, I know you and Jim Barber and our crew got in here and early yesterday, helped some of the kids move in. Well, between visits with the coaches and all, and I thought that was very nice of you.
And you know what? You don't want to drive around campus. You've got a son in college.
What do you mean by that?
You've got a son. It's crowded. It's students moving in. All that.
Yep. A little distracting, isn't it? High end over end kick. And Milt Bowen out of the end zone, and why not? Broke a tackle to the 15 and got out near the 21-yard line. This is a more typical Michigan drive. Time-consuming 15-play drive covering 75 yards. Miami now offensively had 64 yards rushing in the first quarter, Randy, and they have had all of 9 yards since.
Well, they've really abandoned it here in the second half.
I agree.
And I don't think they really needed to do that. They had some success. They mixed things up well, and I think it kept Michigan playing defense a little more honest. I think when they got away from it, though, Michigan started teeing off on the pass rush, and I think we saw them have some success with that.
Ryan Hawk is now the quarterback for the Red Hawks. He can move around. He's got a pretty good arm, too. This one overthrown. Intended for Tillits. Double coverage down the sidelines provided by Michigan as Marcus Curry was there and Charles Drake. Drake was an All-America running back out of high school. And matter of fact, planned to play the running back spot here at Michigan, but they always have a plethora of running backs in this program. So a lot of those good running backs out of high school get moved to defense back here at Michigan.
And, you know, he's made a nice name for himself back there at free safety.
2nd and 10. Hawk with pretty good protection. Pass wide of the mark, intended for Jason Branch. So the Wolverines move on to Washington. Where does Miami go from here? They head up to Iowa.
You know what? That could be
an interesting
good
game.
test for both of those teams. Iowa trying to rebuild and had a huge victory today, trying to rebuild, and this Miami team has got some talent that can play with Iowa if they're not much better. So that'll be a good test for both teams.
Hawk 3 of 6 passing for 12 yards, facing 3rd and 10. Michigan jumps out of a blitz. Hawk on the roll. Finds a man open. Oh, nice catch, and he took a pounding. Chauncey Henry on the reception, and he got drilled by Brandon Williams. Cato June was also there. First down for the Red Hawks on an 18-yard gain.
Nice job throwing the ball across his body, hits his receiver. Turns out to be a nice play.
Tell you what, Coach Hebner's got a couple of quarterbacks in his camp, but they like this Josh Betts, who's a true freshman. They're going to try to redshirt him this year. Hawk takes it himself. Hawk into Michigan territory to the 46-yard line. Drake and June make the stop. 14-yard scamper. We're inside of 3 minutes to go in the game.
Michigan still, you know, it's hard to say they got a lot of starters out there because they play so many players throughout that I guess you could really say all of them have started or will start sometime probably sometime this year.
At some positions on defense today, they've gone 3 deep. This is Cal Murray. I tell you what, did you see Cato June grab the back of his jersey and would not let go? That back was going to have to drag Cato June all the way with him.
It's good to see Cato June out there. Missed all of last season, tore his ACL, missed the entire season, contributed throughout his career. It's good to see him back in there now.
Cato, a junior from Washington, D.C. 2nd down. Cal Murray picks his way. He's got some running room. How about this? Inside the 25-yard line. Charles Drake, Cato June collaborate on the stop. 15-yard gain to a first down for the Red Hawks. Under 2 minutes to go in the game. 31-6 Michigan came in as the 10th ranked team in the nation. The Wolverines beginning their 122nd season of football. Ryan Hawk still looking to make a play. Pass reached his receiver Jason Branch on one hop inside the 10-yard line. Michigan is going to be 118-3 in season openers. At home they are 85-13-2.
118-3.
All this football, 122 years of it, they've only lost 18 times on opening day. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
Second down and 10. Kind of took the breath right away from you, didn't it?
Well, I thought you said 118-3.
No.
100 wins, 18 losses, 3 ties.
There you go.
Okay, you got to clarify that stuff.
By the way, a win here today ties Michigan with Yale for all-time victories in Division I college football. All divisions, actually.
I guess I'm surprised Yale would be tied with anybody.
Still. Branch in the end zone, open, but the pass just a little bit too tall for the 6'6" receiver.
Had him open, and Hawk is doing a nice job of buying some time, scrambling around there, and I don't think Michigan is rushing with their whole heart right now. An opportunity, again, for a touchdown, and the Red Hawks can't capitalize on it.
So fourth down here with 68 seconds to go, and really this has been the story of the second half for Miami. They've had opportunities, haven't been able to cash them. On fourth down, Hawk rolling and short of the first down. So Michigan will take over on downs. And the Wolverine defense, when it's all said and done, despite all the spread offense and this, that, and the other thing thrown at them by the Red Hawks, still only gave up 6 points in this ball game here today.
You know, as you often hear, when you get down closer to the goal line, closer in those areas, the spread offense doesn't work as effectively because you limit the room that you have to work with. And Northwestern has done that very well, but they're one of the few teams that have done that.
I may have been premature, Randy. They're bringing the chains in from across the way. I still think they're going to be short of the first down, but it's close enough for a measurement. And they've got a first down. Boy, was I premature. Miami 117 yards rushing, 207 passing. 324 yards on 68 plays for Miami here today. This kind of offense will generate a lot of plays, doesn't it? So first down, football to the 13-yard line of Michigan. Coming up in the final 62 seconds of this ball game. Next week we'll be at Ohio State. Jim Tressel and company opening the new look Michigan's, or I should say Horseshoe, the new look Horseshoe in Columbus, Ohio Stadium. Ryan Hawk on the roll, forced out of bounds to the near side, back near the 15-yard line, loss of 2. Dan Rumashek in there, still chasing down the quarterback. There's Lloyd Carr. His team got a good workout here today. I think this is a game that will benefit them.
Absolutely.
It was not easy, and not as easy as the final score is going to indicate.
But they'll be able to learn from some of that stuff, and I think rightfully so. They'll be able to take a little confidence out of this game, especially defensively.
Hawk looking to make a play. Penalty markers down. Hawk cuts to the end zone for the touchdown. Penalty marker down to the offensive backfield. Holding against Miami.
Their second touchdown of the day called back.
Yep, second touchdown in this half called back.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still second down.
Well, as you take a look at the Big Ten, the one question mark I have, and I don't know quite what to think of him, and we're going to find out a little bit tomorrow when they take the field, and that's the Purdue Boilermakers. Life after Drew Brees. Now, the one thing you can be sure about is that they have a very good and experienced defense. Matter of fact, their defense and Michigan's defense are considered to be the best in the Big Ten.
And I think rightfully so. I think they are there, and you don't win the Big Ten and go to the Rose Bowl like they did without a good defense, and they've got 10 of their 11 starters coming back, so I think that is a very strong statement.
Now Ben Roethlisberger is back at a quarterback on 2nd and long. Lofts the right corner of the end zone, tipped away by Brandon Williams, intended for Jason Branch, or no, is intended for Corey Kirkpatrick. Brandon Williams knocked it away. 32 seconds left to go. Ohio State's a bit of a wild card, and the new coach and everything else. You know there's talent in that program. How will Belisari play? Will he be able to carry them in?
I think Ohio State is a question mark. I think Illinois. How are they going to come back off of maybe a down year last year? I think Wisconsin certainly is a question mark. And I think there are a lot of those question marks which could make for a very exciting year, which most people predict will happen.
Cato June coming on the blitz. Finally gets the Roethlisberger, but not before he picks up yardage inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. Cato June, John Spytek also in pursuit of the quarterback. You know what, Randy? He's a lot quicker than I thought he was, than I was told that he was, Ben Roethlisberger. Miami calls for a timeout with 12 seconds left to go in the football game, and Michigan leading 31-6 here as we wrap up things on this opening day in the Big House. Plus Game is brought to you by Bell Tire. Nobody comes close. Nobody's closer. And by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. Along with Randy Wright, Jim Barber, Wayne Larrivee on what has been a beautiful afternoon at Michigan Stadium. 13 seconds left to go in this one. The Wolverines debut with a 31-6 victory. And Coach Hepner's team from Oxford, Ohio, has actually played at times well here today, but mistakes, penalties, really. They were coming in here, Randy, on such a fine edge. They could not afford the holding penalties. They could not afford turnovers. They had 3 turnovers that led Michigan scores. They couldn't afford those things happening here to have a chance. Now, could they play with Michigan? Yes, they can play with Michigan, but if they play pretty much an error-free game, they can play with Michigan here.
And you almost have to count on your defense to create some turnovers. I think Michigan just had the one.
4th down. Roethlisberger in a quarterback. On 4th down in about 13. To the end zone, and Chauncey Henry got open behind the coverage of the linebacker, Zach Kaufman. '16-yard touchdown pass. 31-12.
Nice job by Roethlisberger, letting the play develop. Excellent protection. Then again, shows the touch that he's shown all day. Chauncey Henry, nice catch, cradling that ball in. Probably makes the score more indicative of what the game was. 31-6 really would not have been as close as the game was. Nope. I don't know, 31-13 is either.
I don't think so. Andy Brumberg's for the point after. I mean, for the longest while, it was 17-6. It was 17-6 coming into the 4th quarter. Brumbergs puts the extra point on the board. 14 plays, 78 yards. And Coach Hepner can build off of that.
Well, his offense has struggled. They've had opportunities that they've blown and they haven't taken advantage of. So at least they have something that they can go back and say, hey, we executed, we made some plays, and give them something to learn from also. You know what, Wade, we were talking earlier about the Big Ten. One team nobody mentions is Penn State.
Penn State, and the other team that kind of anonymous is Michigan State. Michigan State lost a lot of close games last year, Randy, and they have some very good talent in that program led by T.J. Duckett. So, that's a program that you don't know where they're going to fit into the whole mix.
You don't ever know with Michigan State.
You really don't. You know what? They've got some great talent. They always have good talent, and they get on a roll, and sometimes they can really disrupt things. And in this kind of year in the Big Ten, the unexpected will probably happen.
So it makes it fun.
It sure does. It really does. This is a wide open race in the Big Ten this year. Perry dropping back deep to receive for Michigan. Chris Perry. You don't think they'll try an onside kick here, do you? No, they try a little pooch kick.
I don't know if that was or wasn't. That happens so much these days to be what the onside kick is.
He got too. If he was trying to onside that, he got a little bit too much with it.
Okay, now let me put you on spot. Who's your choice for the Heisman?
Oh.
Do you even know who's up?
Well, the kid in Oregon is getting all the hype. I mean, they took out a billboard in New York City.
It doesn't count if you buy the hype. It doesn't count if you buy it.
I don't know, Randy. I still think it's earned on the field.
Yeah, it's lost on the field, too.
But it's publicized. And that's a big part of it. Oh, man, we talked about it. Mike Gleason had a feature at halftime, and there are some worthy candidates. There is some incredible hype going on and gearing up.
There are some wonderful candidates.
Spencer Britton comes on at quarterback. Sophomore from Hemet, California. Transfer from San Diego State. Got a big arm. Left-hander. A little swing pass wide of the mark. Intended for Walter Cross. 5 seconds left to go in the opener. There's a look at Britton. And Coach Carr has been very impressed with this young man.
You know, here's Britton, who, as you said, very impressive. Statistically has an awful lot. Comes in here. He's a sophomore. Navarre is a sophomore. And you see a guy that just comes there and says, I'm either going to have to beat him out, and now they change again. They put Jermaine Gonzalez in.
Yeah, exactly. Giving everybody a snap here. There's Gonzalez. I'll tell you what, Braylon Edwards is going to be a good receiver here at Michigan. Made a couple of catches in this second half. Gain of about 10 yards right there as the game comes to a close. So the Michigan Wolverines, as expected, win their opener over the Red Hawks of Miami. 31-13. The Wolverines prevail. A game that was 17-6 heading into the fourth quarter. And I think both coaches got a lot to take out of this one to coach on as they head to the exits on the far side. For Michigan, it's on to Washington next week, and that will be a much sterner test. But this one certainly shook off the rust and got them ready for that one.
And I think they played better in the second half. Even defensively, they were much more aggressive, and it showed.
As far as Miami's concerned, they're going to be. I think they'll be a force to. I think they'll be a force to be reckoned with in the MAC this year.
They're a young team too.
Yep.
They're a young team. I think their defense is very solid. Had played very well, and I think that their offense, especially with their young quarterback, will come around. I was impressed with him. I thought Roethlisberger did a nice job. He had a couple mistakes, but recovered from them, and I think he's going to be just fine.
Well, Miami University picked to finish third in the MAC Eastern Division in a preseason poll of the conference media. Maybe they're a little better than that. There's a look at the final statistics. Michigan finally able to get it going on the ground late in the ball game. Through the air, pretty even balance there, and 403 total yards. The turnovers were big for the Red Hawks.
They were huge.
They led to 3 Michigan touchdown drives. So that essentially was the major difference in the ball game here today, as Michigan prevails 31-13. John Navarre, if you're wondering quickly about his numbers, 19 of 32, 205 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. At one juncture, I believe he missed 5 consecutive passes, and you know, he seemed to be teetering a little bit there, but I never saw him lose his poise, Randy, and he came back and had a fine afternoon directing this offense.
And I think he's going to have to grow up quickly because their offensive line is going to struggle. And he is going to bear the brunt of that. Your quarterback's always going to bear the brunt of that. B.J. Askew, very impressed with. But I think Navarre is going to have to just accept the fact he's going to get beat up. They're not going to have the 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3 situations like they have had in the past. It's going to be more 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. And he's going to have to do the job.
And that puts some pressure on your quarterback in your passing game. Askew did rush for 94 yards here today on 20 carries. And Michigan was able to prevail over the Red Hawks of Miami. So as the birds of prey gather over Chrysler Arena, just beyond the outer wall of this beautiful legendary football stadium, Michigan Stadium. Successful opening to the 75th season of football here for the Michigan Wolverines as they defeat Miami, the 10th ranked team in the country. Michigan rolls on, and they'll head up to Washington next week. Jim Barber has been patrolling our sidelines. Mick Lewis has been heading up our effort in the truck. Randy Wright, good to work with you again. We'll see you at Ohio State.
Great to be back, and we'll see you next week.
against Michigan, Askew leads the Wolverines on the ground. The Red Hawks were led by Roethlisberger, their redshirt freshman quarterback, who passed for 193 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Miami hung in for a while, but Michigan was a little bit too much. In the second half, it was opportunities missed for the Red Hawks, and they could ill afford to make those mistakes. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports television. So long, everyone. Michigan wins it 31-13.